weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready.
To inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jesse, on Instagram at ink.jess, that's ink.jess, and on Facebook at Jesselyn Abel, that's JESSELYNE Abel, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J, or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jesse,
amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Guys, hey Marsha.
Hello. It's Saturday.
I can't hear you, girl. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm not on mute. Yes, I can.
You could. Okay. I can relift you guys. If you didn't know, I can relift somewhat.
I'm not on mute.
What's going
Okay.
on?
Yeah, you're not on mute.
No. Okay. Producer, can you hear me?
Maybe it's your camera or mic, like that little gear thing. Maybe it's.
Hold on, let me check it out. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. My mic is testing. The levels are good.
Everything's looking good. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. So Marsha we're figuring stuff out here. I want to welcome you guys. Thank you so much to be on Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. I'm so happy to have you guys here. So, if you guys don't know, we are in episode 11 of season 2, and we look forward to having a great season. Before we start, we want to say a big thank you to all of our partners, supporters, listeners, and viewers from all over the world. If you guys don't know, we'll be having conversations that will help you. So please just join us in the comment section down below. And if you need advice or answers to a question to help you grow, leave it also in the comment section down below. Or you can email us info@umeradio.com. It is our hope that this family program will become a resource for you to be inspired, motivated, and educated. Welcome to Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse. Marsha, you back, girl?
I hope you can hear me now. Yes?
Okay, I
You
couldn't
can't
do
hear
that
me?
yet. I still can't hear you. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Maybe it's me. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's me, guys. Hold on.
Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2.
Check one,
Weekends.
two. Okay.
Yes, hear you.
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, we're good to go.
Good to go.
Alrighty, let's go.
All right. So I did welcome everyone on the show and want to say thank you. But I do want to know, we're not just on YouTube, right, Marsha?
Definitely. We can be heard on the following apps. And if you're a huge fan of apps, then you can find us in a lot of places. iTunes Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Podbean, Tune You, Live 365, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and Listen Notes. And definitely, guys, as you are connecting with us, check out our description bar. If you are watching on YouTube, especially, check out our description bar for discounts and specials from Google Workplace, Amazon, Aquasana, Shop Macy's, Shop Simply Wholesale, Incorporate.com, Smarter Loans, Recover Pro. You can also get your e-commerce store, start your podcast, and you can even earn up to $250. Don't just look there, but also visit our website, www.umeradio.com, and you will find all the information that you need. Jesse, what's coming up in today's show?
All right, so we're first going to start with our morning inspiration, talking about difficult people from Thanks to Daily Bread. I know, Marsha. That's a whole sermon on its own. Okay.
I know.
Yeah. We're going to go into the news, what's going on in New York, Caribbean, and in Africa. Then we have our spotlight that is going to be about our Udemy free ebook. We're then going to move on to our inspirational guest, which, as you know, it's awesome Coach Raquel, who's going to talk about the topic recognizing my place in time. It's quite interesting.
I know.
And then we're going to go on over into lifestyle. And as you guys know, we're going to talk about wealth, wellness, and one day at a time living. So with wealth, we're going to go to consumer alerts and job scam alerts. So it's very, very, I know there's a lot going on. I know everyone's trying to look for a job, whether it's part-time or different areas. So we want you guys to be warned of possible scams that's going on. It's also April towards the end, but it is still National Autism Month. So we're going to shed some awareness of autism. And I know you guys love the hacks, right? So we got more hacks for you. Then we're going to move on to our talent section of the program, where we have Mr. Davian Barnett, who's a bass guitar player. So I'm excited to hear what he has. If maybe he's gonna play something. I don't know. I'm excited.
All about the bass.
Yeah, we have our DJ Top 5 playlist that is going on, and we have another spotlight from Google Workspace. And you guys don't use Google and their whole just mechanism. We're gonna shed light on that because you guys need to get on that. We have our also little quiz competition. We got that, Marsha?
Yes, I'm ready.
I know. You're ready? Okay, I'm ready. Then then after our quiz competition, we do have Travel Boss. So we're going to talk about Miss Akila Roper and 10 top 10 things, there we go, to consider before you migrate. And we have our picture of the day, and I'm just going to say oxtail on pizza.
What a combination.
I can't
wait to talk about that one.
I know. We have another spotlight from Miss Lauren Carter, The Right Choice. And we're going to wrap it up with Because We Can. And we're going to talk with Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon about his Love Has Hands Foundation. Okay, clearly today's a tongue twister for me.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's what's happening today. I'm looking forward to an amazing show today. So if you have not yet told a friend that we are on, now is a great time to text somebody, to Facebook somebody, to Instagram somebody, to WhatsApp somebody, yes, to FaceTime somebody, and let them know that Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse has now begun. Amen. All right. So we're just going to go straight into our devotion at this time. And today, we are going to be talking about difficult people. Type that in the comments. Look into the camera and say it to me. Difficult people. All right. So our text for today is going to come from, and let me pull that up on my virtual Bible. It's Proverbs 15 and verse 1. So let's turn there, sword in hand. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we are going to Proverbs 15 and verse 1 to 7 and then 18. But we're really going to be focusing on verse 1. So I'm reading from the Amplified Bible, and it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." Right? So the tongue of the wise utters knowledge rightly, but the mouth of the self confident fool pours out folly. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch upon the evil and the good. 3, 4. A gentle tongue with its healing power is it's a tree of life, but willful contrariness in it breaks down the spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction and correction, but he who regards reproof requires or acquires prudence. 6. In the house of the uncompromisingly righteous is great priceless treasure, but the income of the wicked is trouble and vexation. Verse 7. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, sifting it as a chaff from the grain. Not so the minds and hearts of the self confident ones and the foolish ones. And we're going to go down to verse 18. And it says, "A hot tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger appeases contention." Let's say that again. Verse 18. "A hot tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger appeases contention." The word of the Lord. Powerful word, too. So today's story is by Sheridan Voisey, and it reads, so Lucy Worsley is a British historian and TV presenter. Like most people in the public eye, she sometimes receives nasty mail. In her case, over a mild speech impediment that makes her R's sound like W's. One person wrote this: "Lucy, I'll be blunt. Please try harder to correct your lazy speech and remove R's from your script. I couldn't sit through your TV series because it made me so annoyed. Regards, Darren." Ouch. For some people, an insensitive comment like this might trigger an equally rude reply. But here's how Lucy responded. "Oh, Darren, I think you've used the so today's my tongue-tied day. So she says, "Oh, Darren, I think you've used the anonymity of the internet to say something you probably wouldn't say to my face. Please reconsider your unkind words, Lucy." Now, Lucy's measured response worked. Darren apologized and vowed not to send any such email again. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverb says, "But a harsh word stirs up anger." While the hot-tempered person stirs things up, the patient person has a tendency to calm things down. When we get a critical comment from a colleague, a snide remark from a family member, or a nasty reply from a stranger, we always have a choice to either speak angry words and fuel the flames, or gentle words that diffuse them. May God help us to speak words that turn away wrath and perhaps even help difficult people to change. Very powerful sentiment. How many of us have often dealt with people who are or who seem difficult, or are they difficult? Something to ask yourself. And when we do encounter these personalities, what is the first thing that crosses your mind? Or what should be the first call, and he simply says this: a soft answer turns away wrath. Case in point. So before I came into broadcasting, I was a banker with a commercial bank for approximately 5 years. Now, if you are where I am, then you will know that probably because we're not a first world country, there are some things that are not quite there yet. And so once you are inside the building, you may have a tendency to wait, and sometimes wait a little bit longer, maybe because of protocol or something like that. So I remember one day I had a customer, and knowing my personality, I'm normally the girl that smiles, tries to keep you calm sort of person. And so, of course, I rang the bell and the gentleman came to my desk. I stood up as usual and I greeted the man with my best smile and I invited him to sit down. Would you believe, Jesse, that before this man even said anything, a long train of expletives met me? I
What?
felt like, yeah, I felt like if he could have taken off his shoe and slapped me, he probably would have. But of course, we're trained not to take customer anger
Right.
personally.
Mm-hmm.
Something is long, naturally it's going to annoy them. So anyway, I took a deep breath and I smiled and I said, I'm so sorry that you had to wait so long. Listen, let me do everything I can to get you out of here as quickly as possible. And he yelled again. He asked, what was I smiling about? And is there anything in the world to smile about? So, anyway, I sat down. He sat down and we began the transaction. And I was there talking to him and he would barely answer because he was so mad. Anyway, I somehow found a joke in something that he had said. And out of nowhere, this man just looked up and gave me a half a smile. And I looked at him and said, no, that's the person I'm looking for. That's the personality I'm looking for. I bet you when the next time I come to your business, I buy everything off of the top shelf. And he just started laughing. You know? So it's not even a matter of dismissing a person's pain, but actually understanding how to navigate through whatever it is they're experiencing. Because perhaps it's not even you. They're just not having a great day. And when someone encounters us, especially children of God, we want to be light, not darkness. We want to be salt, not saltless or salty.
Yep.
And would you know that from that day, even after I left the bank, he and I have been great friends. And I am so thankful for the word of God that helps us how to navigate life. Sometimes we think that the word of God is complicated and it really doesn't help us to enjoy everyday life, but it does. We just need to take the time to read it and absorb it. And also, mindset is critical. What is the mindset that you have when someone comes at you negatively? Normally, I would just probably stop, count to 10, check myself first, and say, okay, what should I really say in this situation? And try to diffuse as much as possible. So I'm absolutely, I'm not saying I'm an expert, Jesse, not saying I'm an expert, but the word of God is really simple to follow. So loving God, give me the ability to respond to quarrelsome people with patience and gentle words. I want you to think of a time you got defensive with someone. Why do you think that you reacted that way? Was it necessary? Could you have handled the situation another way to bring glory to God and peace to the communication process? How could you have responded in God's power? Something to think about. Let's pray. Father, we want to thank you so much for your amazing love and your amazing grace towards us. We thank you that your word says, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature, a new creature in our speech, new creature in our actions, new creature in our walk, new creature in our talk. All things are passed away, and behold, all things become new. Thank you for helping us to move past the past. Thank you for giving us the ability to handle difficult situations and also use it as an opportunity to minister to people, to change their lives, to help them to have a better day. God, we need more grace. So many angry people in the world, so many people who are disappointed with a lot of things. But help us to be a conduit of love, a conduit of patience, a conduit of peace, a conduit of solutions, because you are within us, and your Holy Spirit, who leads us into all truth and is with us always, is right beside us, telling us exactly what to say, what to do, and when. Father, we thank you so much for today's program. We pray for everyone that's watching. We pray for each and every person that's listening on whatever platform. We thank you for the team. We thank you for the guests. Father God, we thank you even for the very small things that we may not be even able to recognize. Lord, we ask you to bless us. We ask you to breathe upon this program. Breathe upon us, oh God, as we do your work, and we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Powerful, very powerful.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Ugh,
I know
yes,
that with patients, because I work in healthcare, if you guys don't know, that patients, you have to have that light, you can't sometimes take what patients do, their actions or inactions, affect you. But I also have come to multiple times where you just have to be very stern, like a gentle
yes,
sternness. And there are other times, honestly, sometimes in life, not just patients, there's some people you have to put up that defensiveness and just be like, got your shield here, got my sword here. I am doing my best to be patient
exactly.
with you. Yep. Ah, but
And stand
but
in your truth. That's important.
r-
Because sometimes
right.
personalities can be scary or no, not scary, intimidating. And sometimes
Right.
may even to not even believe what you know you stand for, and it rattles
Hmm.
you.
Yeah.
But you just have to understand people and understand that even you yourself have bad days. Come on,
Yeah.
it's human.
We
Yeah,
do. We do.
and
It's human. It's human.
somebody has
It's
another
it's
human having
life.
a bad day. Yeah, understand.
Exactly. Exactly.
I
So,
agree.
guys, I wanted I want to know, I want to tell you guys what's going on in the news right now, because there is a lot that is happening over here in New York and just United States in general. So first we could pull up that Governor Cuomo did announce a launch of $85 million for a New York Clean Transportation Prizes initiative. We have that up. But while that's pulling up, I'll just read it off from you guys. And this is coming from newyork.gov. So, Governor Cuomo announced the launch of the New York Clean Transportation Prizes program, offering up to $85 million through 3 competitions for innovative global solutions to enhance clean transportation and mobility options and reduce harmful emissions across New York State, with a focus on under underserved communities. There you go, Jesse. The competitions include the Clean Neighborhood Challenge, the Electric Mobility Challenge, and the Electric Truck and Bus Challenge, with each run in 2 phases. The announcement is for nation-leading clean energy and climate goals in the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. And he said, supporting pioneering clean transportation and mobility solutions is imperative in our fight against climate change and our goal of electrifying the transportation sector. This initiative helps to leverage forward-thinking strategies and enables clean transportation options in all communities to fight inequality. The competing teams will advance their most transformative ideas to lower carbon emissions, improve air quality, and create a lasting impact that benefits all New Yorkers. And if you guys are interested, applicants for the competition must register by July 22 of 2021. And I'll just go through, if we scroll down real quick, I'll read off these competitions here. It's Clean Neighborhoods Challenge. Up to 10 million grand prizes will be awarded to innovative projects that address air pollution reduction at scale in disadvantaged communities. Electric Mobility Challenge. Up to $7 million grand prizes will be awarded to projects that demonstrate innovative, safe, and convenient electric mobility options that help solve disadvantaged communities' transportation needs. And last but not least, Electric Truck and Bus Challenge is going to award up to $8 million in grand prizes. So yeah, guys, that is what's going on for New York State in general, but also really importantly in the United States that's going on. If you guys have not heard by now, with the George Floyd case, that Derek Chauvin has been found guilty on all counts of count 1, 2, and 3 of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. So, yeah, that is what's been going on over on the States.
Wow, thank you for that, Jesse. And I want to turn our attention to we still have the counts and the charges on the screen. I will not comment. But I want to turn our attention to the Caribbean news. And of course, we've been having some conversations about the St. Vincent volcano that has erupted. And just want to spend a little time here. The explosive eruption of the volcano continues. So after more than 2 days since Friday's eruption, another strong explosive episode from the volcano summit crater occurred day before yesterday. Some major explosions started around 1649 local time, and a typical tall and dense ash plume rose to estimated 3 kilometers altitude and drifted south and west. And our prayers continue to be with those in St. Vincent. Over in Jamaica, we're being told that we will have a mixture of the Sahara dust and ashes from the volcano floating over Jamaica. So we have all been advised between today's Saturday, so it would have started Thursday, Friday into Saturday. And so, of course, they've been asked to really be very careful when going outdoors, because this time around, the mix with the Sahara dust is going to be extremely acidic. So therefore, we are invited to wear masks. We've been having a very eventful 2 years. Now over to CARICOM, just to see what's on the front of CARICOM page. While that is coming up on my side, I also want to express deepest condolences being from Jamaica. In Jamaica, we lost a legendary broadcaster, Mr. Michael Sharp, who is the television manager for JNN in Jamaica. Now, this is someone, Jesse, that I have watched growing up on television, and he is 65 years old at the time of his death. And he took the vaccine. I know we're tired of hearing about the vaccine, but when I saw the picture, I was like, wow, he took the vaccine. He still fell ill. He still died from C19.
Wow.
And I know you've said it before, it's not about it builds your immunity. Am I right?
Right. It's not a cure. You can still get the disease. You could still get COVID-19 even if you have the vaccine. The vaccine's just supposed to help with, like, instead of getting like to the severity, you might get like maybe mild to moderate, that kind of thing. But you can still get it.
Understood.
Yeah.
still serious, so everybody please stay safe. And also, my computer is still frozen. We have the death of the late Prince Philip, who is the husband of Queen Elizabeth III, and he was laid to rest sometime last week. And so we definitely want to express condolences, no matter how we feel, condolences to the royal family.
Yep.
Few months and then to top it off, this major death. And we know that Prince Philip has contributed a lot, not just to Jamaica's own development, but also to other countries around the world. And he was loved. And so what does that mean for us now? What does that mean for the royal household? We will watch and
Yeah.
see. Definitely. Definitely. All right. So let's go to CARICOM. Oh, there we go. We have Volcano Relief Fund, how to donate, information links. Uh-huh. CDEMA, NEMO, Facebook page, UE. We have trending. Yeah, you can scroll down, please. CARICOM and US agree on the need to work together. Remarks by Honorable Eamon Courtney, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Immigration of Belize, and Chairman of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations to the CARICOM US Virtual Roundtable. And remarks by CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRouque to the roundtable between U.S. Secretary of State Honorable Anthony Blinken and CARICOM Minister of Foreign Affairs on last Wednesday. And CARICOM Girls in ICT Partnership holds virtual events for girls in ICT Day 2021. And pretty much that is a roundup of the Caribbean news. Let's see what else is going on here. We have a press statement on the 14th special meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government, right? And we have statement on volcano activity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the chair of the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So you can check that out. Communique, 10th United Kingdom Caribbean Ministerial Forum, something also to check out. A lot going on in the Caribbean and in Jamaica. And wow, we can just say, Jesse, let's be supportive of each other and continue to pray. And now we turn our attention to African news and what is on the front page. Thank you. So we are going to be scrolling down. So Chad, opposition parties warn France to refrain from meddling. Idris Deby death, 10th Chad wakes up to new rulers and cry like a boy living in the shadows. Life, okay. And we have heavy rains in Lauder kill at least 14 and leave 8,000 homeless. Kenya's police crack whip on curfew violators, elicit mixed reactions. Summit of heads of state in Angola focuses on political crisis. CAR. Gunmen storm Nigeria's Kaduna University, kills staffer. Zimbabwe's prime minister approved bill allowing the president to appoint a vice president directly. Wow, a lot going on there. All right. Can you scroll down for me, please? Let me just see the editor's choice. Holding on power, Africa's longest serving leaders. Ghana's special effects, makeup artists, pioneers transform African film. Nice. Rangers battle human encroachment in Sudan's biggest park, and European Super League collapses after clubs withdraw. And those are just some of the things that are happening in Africa. And you can always check out African News. I want to say thank you to africanews.com. Africa needs the will to grow. Dr. Vera Songwe, economist. A lot of things happening over there. A lot of things happening over there. Yeah, so Jesse, that's it for with the news for the moment.
All right, guys. I mean, there's a lot going on. I do want to say a quick mention that in regards to Michael Sharpe, that we do want to make clear that we do not know if his death is in any relations to the injection or anything like that. We
Definitely.
do
Thank
just
you
want
for
to
that,
say
Jesse.
our condolences. Yep. All right. So next up, we do want to give light to one of our spotlights. If you guys have not heard, I don't know, where have you guys been if you've not heard of our free UDMI ebook? I mean, come on, guys. This is such an important tool, and it's free. And what it does, it helps you to become the digital entrepreneur and businesses that you actually have. And we released it to help you complete your full digital transformation. Now, it's a complete guide so you could gain insight to how to transition from your regular store, which you can still have, but to transition from that into e-commerce with confidence. And for you guys to get that, all you guys have to do is go to udmibrands.com, and we have it pulled up on the screen right here. And yep, positioning my growth 2021 purpose mindset. And what it does, guys, and it tells you a little bit more about, like, finding your clientele, having the right mindset. If you're good with, email marketing, capturing leads, if you want to know more about how to build your audience, all of that is right here on this free ebook for you to have. I mean, I think it's absolutely awesome. I think we could scroll through it just for you guys to take a look and see real quick if it would. Are we good? Just go through the book. Just a little sneak peek.
Jesse, let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Awesome,
All
awesome,
right.
awesome. All right, so definitely I want to endorse what it is that you're saying about the UDMI ebook. As we've always said, Jesse, it is time for people of color to have their own brand, right? And educating yourself about having your brand is absolutely important. And that's why this free ebook is here. It's sad to say that someone came up with a quote that if you want to hide information from a Black person, you put it in a book. But I would like to say that is not true, because now the times are shifting, the times are changing, and we are on the road to empowering ourselves, and not just empowering ourselves, but empowering each other. We
Sure.
definitely believe in ownership, owning our work, owning anything that we do. And I often say this, that one of the sad things about our education system sometimes, just my own personal observation, is that we were educated to work for others,
Yep.
but we were never educated to own our own. And with that understanding, it's important to be in your awareness and know that, listen, guys, you can do this. If I can do this, I transitioned, Jesse, from a 9 to 5
Yep.
to owning my own business. And I am not saying that this was an easy process. That's why you have coaches and things like that to
Right.
help guide you, which we have on board here at UDMI. But what is important is that you leave a legacy for your children and for your children's children. And that's something that even the Bible talks about, legacy and leaving legacy, and what a good father or a good parent does. And so,
Yep.
in our effort and our mission to empower 1 million people, this is where you start. Start by reading, start by understanding what it is that you want to accomplish. A lot of us, Miles Monroe, I think, was the one that says, the richest place in the whole wide world is the graveyard.
Mm.
Is the graveyard, simply because a lot of people die with their ideas and all the greatness that's inside of them. It's time to
Yep.
unearth it, and it's time to go get what you want. I don't care what age you are. You could be
Yep.
16, you could be 60. understand that.
So
God has
true.
given you something. And one of the things I realized too in the culture of the Jews that every Jewish person has a gift or a trade or something.
Mhm.
You should be able to survive outside of your 9 to 5. I think
Yep.
C19 has taught us so much for those of us who have lost our jobs and have to
Mhm.
reposition ourselves. Extremely important. Definitely. I remember going to work while I was at the bank, and I have friends on the second floor. The second floor was like what insurance and other departments. And then when I
Mhm.
showed up to work, they showed up to work on the second floor. And then by the time we were through with devotions, everybody's coming back downstairs and going home. And I'm like, what's going on? We were all made redundant. The next question would
Mhm.
have been, did you have a plan? You know, yes, even though they may pay you up some amount of money, but how long is that gonna last?
Yeah.
And what's
Yep.
the plan B? You know, and that was one of the things that had me thinking about what next? What do I do? What ifs? What if?
Right. Right.
You know, so guys, log on to our website, umeradio.com, get that ebook, reposition yourself for
Mhm.
greatness.
That is awesome. I think that's awesome because, I like you said, Marsha, C19 did shed light on a lot of stuff and a lot of things wrong. And like you said, the schooling system, like I feel like it teaches us to pass a test and move on to the
Yes,
next grade. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it just teaches us to, okay, we did this, check mark, okay, but it's not really teaching us like there's nothing wrong with
like
like
life
trade
stuff.
schools, like
Mhm.
I learned, to sew and stuff like that, but like there's nothing wrong with trade. There's nothing wrong to starting your own business. There's nothing wrong with, having a 9 to 5 and a business at the same time, but having the ability to learn that, I think it really should be taught in schools. I think it should be like one of those mandatory classes,
I agree
like
with you.
taxes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
agree with you. Just as how I feel like in Jamaica, driver's ed needs to be a part of the high school curriculum, but hey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And speaking of getting your goals and being a goal getter, we have with us today none other than Coach Raquel. And she is one of our favorite recurring guests on the program. Can you tell us something more about Coach Raquel?
Of course. So, guys, if you guys don't know, if you guys are new to our radio show, Coach Raquel is a proven strategist and is a beneficiary of the Cornell Bank of America Women's Entrepreneurship at Cornell University, where she completed certification in entrepreneurship. She is also a certified career coach. As a child, Coach Raquel endured the countless challenges of poverty firsthand, which ultimately shaped her into the compassionate, courageous individual she is today. And in overcoming such hardships, she has become adept at helping others avoid these and other pitfalls of career and life to step into their best versions possible. Above all, with over 15 years of leadership experience, she is a true advocate of positive change in the 21st century, helping individuals and companies achieve their goals. And like I said, Marsha, every single episode, whenever she comes on, I don't know why, feelings start coming, tissues start needing to be like, I need a Kleenex. I love it whenever she comes on.
Transformation does that. Transformation definitely does that.
All right, Coach Raquel, thank you so much for coming on our show. We're so happy to have you here.
Okay. Can you hear me? My apologies for that.
We can hear
Can you hear
you,
me
yeah?
now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. Are you having any effects? Are you hearing any echoing or anything in my background?
No.
No.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, thank you for having me on your show again. It's my pleasure to be here, an absolute pleasure. And today we're talking about recognizing our place in time, recognizing my place in time. What on earth do I mean by this? I don't know if you ladies are aware, but when we speak in time. We have the past, we have the present, and we have the future. And of course, we talk about or we learn about the power of words. In the beginning was the word, right? So it means that what we say matter. So it means that when we're speaking, whether we're in the past, present, or future, matters, right? It
Yep.
does. So today I'm just going to be sharing a little bit about just kind of a little mindfulness for us, for your listeners to just come into the mindfulness of when you speak, where are you in the world in terms of time? Sorry, and I'm not talking about past tense and present tense. I'm talking about in time, right? So I want the listeners to bear in mind being, action, results. Oh, and I call it the bar. Being, action, results. And what is a state of being? How I am feeling. What's my state of mind in the moment? Action, how I am showing up, right? And the result is how will I influence the outcome in whatever circumstances? So being in this case is how am I feeling? I listened to you ladies when you were, I think it was Marsha, she was talking about when you're not in such a good mood, right? And how you show up. And I wanted to share, I'm going to try to share real quickly. I had an experience a couple of days ago, and it really shook me. It really shook me. I was driving, and it's like 3 lanes on the road, but I'm kind of new to the town. So I was in the farthest lane to the left. But then I realized that where I'm going was like a couple feet away from me. So I was trying to navigate now to cross over. And I shouldn't have been doing that. Let me be clear, because if you're not on the right side of the road, then I suspect, well, according to the codes, you go elsewhere, you turn and you come back, right? But in the moment, I was trying to do it differently. I was trying to navigate my way over to the right. So I went through the first lane, and now I was going into the third lane. And there was this lady, she looked like a church lady. That's all I could remember. And she had her finger up, and I could not hear her. And I kept saying, I am sorry, with a smile on my face. I am sorry. Trying to, kind of use my hand to beckon that I'd like to go ahead if she doesn't mind giving me a chance. But she had her finger up like she was warning me, and there was no smile there,
Right.
And then there came a man who was driving I think it's a public transportation, a bus, right? Oh my gosh. This was the thing that got me. I can still feel it running through my body. He was so aggressive. He was trying to, I guess, and in the end I say, thank you. You told me what to do. Good. He was saying to me, no, go away, go around and go all the way up to go. But I thought to myself, man, isn't there another way to tell me that? He was so aggressive. I felt it through my soul, I'm telling you. I felt battered. I will never do that again. And I thought to myself, is there a way that we could correct each other with more kindness? I mean, clearly, I was doing what was wrong, but 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? So you could either go on your way, or if you're going to stop to teach me, then teach me, right? And I think sometimes when we think we're confident about information, we throw it at others. And it is really teaching me myself to be mindful, because sometimes it's when you're in that stress area and you don't even realize what's happening. So it's when you're feeling hurt or upset or whatever, how are you showing up? Because how you show up will influence the outcome. So we're talking about recognizing or place in time. What we say is equally important as how we are interpreted when we have a desired or expected outcome. Now, if you don't have a desired outcome, if you don't care what happens, then I guess you don't have to care, right? For example, that man, maybe he didn't care the outcome. Well, he did care because he wanted me to go around, even though I was blocking him. So clearly, it was irritating him, right? But when what will be interpreted of us? And how do we hold each other accountable? Was there somebody sitting next to him who could have said, hey, she's a woman, you're a guy, protect her now? Be kind to her now? Love her now? You're a man. You're supposed to be protecting me and saying, hey, sweetheart, not that way. Let me use my boss to protect you and to help you. Lady over there warning her, yes, we know she started out wrong. Can we help her get in? Because we all do it as drivers. How can we be better for better outcomes? Yes, recognizing our place in time. So I'm going to introduce this concept, and I hope the length of my presentation does not impact someone's ability to grasp what I'm saying. Hope it's not too short. Being action results, as you can see, for those who are able to see on the screen, if you're listening to the radio and you're not able to see the screen, I really want to invite you to go over to our YouTube account at UMERADIO so you can see this video. It's so important for you to see, but I'm still going to try to read it so you can know what it says. So this graphic that you're looking at is really demonstrating what I mean when I say being action and results. In this case, it's past, present, future. Past action being at the top, right? So we have three circles, right? And at the top it says being action results, right? Being action results. I think there's an error on my image. It says being action past, but it should be results, right? Okay. So the first one on the result, the one that has results at the top, it has past at the bottom. So I'm just going to read what it says: explanations, stories, descriptions, interpretation, reasons, excuses, complaints, assessments, history, jurisdiction, success or failure. And then when you go over to the other one that says action or present, it says action, what's happening, the facts, observable, speaking and listening, doing. And then on the future or being, it says dream, possibility, your word, invention, breakthrough, commitment, vision, creativity. Now we experience time travel every time we speak. Every time we speak. An important distinction to make when exercising leadership is the distinction between the past, present, and future. Take something as simple as the conversation around the coffee pot at the start of the day. If we complain about the morning traffic, we are intellectually and emotionally living in the past. If we talk about possible topics for upcoming staff meeting, on the other hand, we put ourselves in the future. We begin to create the future. Depending on how we wish to spend our time and what we want to accomplish, it would appear that having a conversation about future possibilities might be more useful and productive than lamenting about traffic jams. But this is only the start. Being able to discern whether conversations are about the past, the present, or the future not only keeps us from wasting time, but it enables us to consciously change or shift the conversation into more useful modes. Instead of talking about what happened, we can make something happen. See that? Instead of talking about what's holding us back, we can propel our project forward. Instead of managing breakdowns, we can achieve breakthroughs. And one of the things that I find that I experience working with people in my community is, I think we've been cultured or domesticated or whatever it is to analyze as opposed to propose solutions. I don't know if you've ever had the experience. You walk into the room and you have an idea, you introduce something that nobody has ever seen before. And instead of saying, wow, this is amazing, let me learn how this works, we start saying what's wrong with it. in essence, we start dragging the new innovation to the past. So instead of it bringing us forward, we're bringing it backward. Because now we want to apply it to what we knew in the old time before. But how do we innovate that way? If you're going to become an innovator or a leader, or you're going to bring something into the world that nobody, bring something new into the world, guess what? You have to teach people. You have to be prepared to teach people, right? Because if you sit and you tear it apart, then all you're going to be doing is, if you alter that, then you're going to make it a past experience, right? So we have to become aware of when something is in front of us. How am I treating it? How is my dialogue about it, right? Anytime someone makes a statement that generates an action, they are in the, anytime someone, I missed something. Anytime someone talks about something that has already happened, they are in the past. They are talking about the realm of results that have already occurred. Now, when you're speaking, are you in the awareness of what you want the expected outcome to be? So, for example, if you're somebody who's speaking about wealth you would like to have in the future, then you can't speak about your money based on past experiences, right? You can't start saying, man, I want to have $100. That's past information. You have to speak what you want to happen, dream, possibility, invention, breakthrough, right? Anytime you make a statement that generates action, so if you say, I'm going to make some money right now, you're talking in the realm of the present. Yes? But when you make statements that introduces or declares a new possibility, you don't need to answer it. Lord, I feel it in my soul. A bank is coming to me. You don't need to define what it is. Because the moment you define it, you're going to create it into something. Right? You're creating something. So to discover now is that yet new possibilities, right? Something that doesn't yet exist. The conversation is in the realm of the future. How often do you have futuristic conversations? Conversations when you're engaging in the conversation, you don't have the information. You're asking more questions than you're giving answers, because those are the conversations that propel us forward. Anytime you're in a conversation and you have the answers, you're in the past or the present. You're not growing. But when you show up and you're asking questions because this is new to you, you don't even have the answers. So I'm going to give you an example of a past conversation. I think the major difficulty we have is the way we're organized. This is in the past because it describes how things have been organized. Now, I'd like you to just close your eyes and think for me. And don't take it personal. This is purpose, right? How often are you having those conversations? Talking about how things have been. How do you foresee that impacting where you are? Because if you are where you don't want to be, it means that you've been doing the same thing over and over again, right? So when you communicate that way, the expected outcome, sometimes you may have something in mind, but you can't achieve that outcome because your words, what you're creating, is redundant. It's in the past. It's already happened. So nothing new is happening because everything you're creating with your words have already happened. So that's why you're in the same space. It's not that you're not creating, you're just regurgitating, you're recreating. You're recreating the same old thing. So you need to check yourself to say, how many times do I walk into a meeting? And when someone introduces something, I say, I refer to something that is in the past. But it doesn't have that clip over there. What clip over where? Who said it was supposed to have a clip? See, now you're introducing the clip, which means that you want what you're creating to be the same as the old. But why would you want to do that? If it's already in use, it's not a new invention, is it? It's not different, right? So that's something we should become aware of constant analysis of old data. Unless you have a purpose or research or trend that you're looking on, right? How is it serving you? Now, here's a sentence now. For example, I'll get you those names and numbers as soon as I get back to my office. That's what? Present. That's not present. You're in action, right? It's present because it influences what is happening or about to happen right now. Yes? And by virtue of that, that's going to quickly become past. So you can't even stay stuck in the present either. Right? Doesn't mean you don't need to have a balance, But what is your conversation mostly about? Sadly, most of our conversations are past and present. Past and present. Yes? But what if we were to look at it this way and say, what if we construct the display on site rather than building in the factory? See, new possibilities, no answers there. We're saying, what if? What if instead of analyzing what's in front of you, you show up and say, what if we were to add this button over there that could become something to let us into a door over there? Possibilities, right? Possibilities. We tend to be a product of our past. Much of what we are today and will be tomorrow is shaped by what has already transpired in our lives and in the world around us. But Marsha, I think it was Marsha that said something that answers why this is. What does our education system teach us? Past information. Past information. And so we become domesticated, acclimatized, whatever you want to call it. We become used to pulling on the old as opposed to creating the new. Which is why with God, he said, lean not to your own understanding. Right? That's why he said you should pursue his divine will, because God doesn't tell you. He doesn't give you the entire story. He prepares you, but he gives you clues and ideas because they say he's pulling you forward. So we have to become conscious of our conversation and where we are with our words in time, right? We never take an action that is inconsistent with who we see ourselves to be. And what happens is when we get stuck between past and present, the past and present conversation, we end up in circumstantial drift. You know where they say you're doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result? Hamster on a wheel? Yes. So we have to become conscious. We have to become conscious or mindful of our words that we speak, because sometimes we may be thinking, oh, I'm not getting this that I really want, or I'm not getting that I really want. When it's not that you're not getting it. It's what you're saying that's being created. So you may think you want something new, but are you speaking something new into being? So that is something that we really, really need to be conscious of. And I just want to share this. Anytime we take actions based on opinions, assessments, and interpretations, the best we can hope to achieve is incremental change. However, what is worst, in some situations, we will unknowingly take actions that perpetuate the situation or problem we're trying to change. This becomes an endless cycle. Yes. And that's why leadership is so critical. You know, who a leader is, at least based on my understanding, a leader is someone who brings something into existence that never existed before, creating future. And so it's important for us to ask questions and allow the universe, God, to provide those answers. So that was our presentation for today, recognizing our place in time. Speak future. Do you have any questions for me?
No questions at the moment, but I understand the power of speech, and I understand how we can linger in the realm of this used to happen, and I remember when, and I wish it was like that, as opposed to using our language and the power of the tongue to create something new and recognizing place in time, or just recognizing time on a whole. That's a powerful, powerful presentation, Coach. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I just want to say this because time is God currency. You see, money is man
Yeah.
currency. Time is God currency. So we really should become conscious of how we use it. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes. Thank you so
God.
much for being here with us, Coach. Wow, such an awesome morning so far. Information. All right, so now we turn our attention to Because We Can. Jesse, tell us about Because We Can.
So, if you guys don't know, we all love philanthropy, and philanthropy is really important. And that's really what Because We Can is all about. So, philanthropy is important because it provides opportunities. It supports projects and endeavors that may be too unpopular or controversial to gain the widespread support of the general public or the government. For this reason, philanthropy is a very important part of a democratic society. And today's guest, we have Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon, who's going to talk about his awesome foundation, Love Has Hands Foundation. So, if you guys are not aware, international award-winning gospel artist Rev. Dr. Jermaine Gordon called the passionate psalmist. I can never say that word. And a modern
Thomas.
day hymn writer is a devout Christian and a musical maestro who has written and composed some of the most singable songs of our time. His music can be heard in theater productions and often in the aisles of the marketplace. He is a worship leader, songwriter, and instrumentalist. He is a music consultant, coach, and therapist who works as I can't say that one either. Gosh, Jesse, assiduously to prevent violence and trauma that impact children and communities through an initiative called Inspiring Our Future 360 Degrees.
Wow. Welcome, Dr. Gordon, or I should say welcome back, because you have been with us before. And it's just so awesome to have you here with us. How are you?
I am magnificent.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
How
Since the
are
last,
you?
oh, I am feeling fabulous. I'm feeling
Excellent.
fabulous. And I guess Jesse's supposed to answer too.
Okay, and I am feeling marvelous. We're gonna go with
Awesome. Dr. Gordon, since the last time we spoke, a lot of developments have happened where your ministry is concerned. Now you actually have a television show. Let's start there. Talk to us about that.
Snake.
Snake, yes.
Everybody's wondering what is snake? What is that? So it's a show where we provide music to give people a lift. You
Hmm,
know, folks don't quite understand, Marsha and Jesse, the impact music really have on their thoughts, their behavior, how they feel about themselves, and the spirit.
yes,
And so, Snare is one of those shows that will, bring greater awareness to the importance of music. Music is an important ingredient. Let me just tell you quickly. So, for example, King Saul understood, or his servants rather, understood clearly that what was happening to him was not that he needed a physician, he needed a musician. And so
yes.
in 2021, there are folks who don't understand that when they feel so troubled and depressed and sad and miserable and they don't
Hmm,
know that what they need is a psalmist. Instead, some go take a sniff here, some go on drugs, some go drink themselves to a wreck. They're applying several different treatment. But so Snare is one of those shows to show from scientific and a spiritual perspective the importance of music.
awesome.
So it's threefold. It's music, meditation, not meditation, music, motivation, and ministry. So music will provide music to give them a lift, motivation to lift them higher, and then ministry to catapult them into the heavens so they can soar.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And you know what, Jesse, I've really been enjoying, particularly Dr. Gordon's instrumental pieces since C19. He has been putting out some pieces, instrumental pieces that really is so soothing, you know. And even though I am into music, and I think everybody knows this by now, before I go to bed or the first thing I wake up in the morning, or if I'm having a hard day, you know, I normally tune in and I
Me
listen,
too.
and it changes my
Yep.
mood. It
Yep.
really does. We're about to
Me
get to
too.
the project in a minute, Dr. Gordon, but I just had to say, you know, hats off to you, and I'm so grateful for that component. I mean, you've always been doing it, but I think you were even more intentional about using your gift to really minister to people in a very different way. Singing is one thing, but when you can use an instrument to speak, that is something completely different. Thank you for that.
You are so welcome.
Yes. So let's have a conversation about Love Has Hands. What caused the genesis of that? Where's that coming from?
So coming out from the music now, we offer the music as a form of therapy for
Yes.
people who are suffering. They can't sleep at night. They're having insomnia. They're depressed. The music provides that lift, just as you said. And so, music is a part of the Love Has Hands Foundation. It's one of what we use. It's one of the tools that we have been using. So, Love Has Hands Foundation, the name might be new to persons, but the whole work that we have been doing is not new to most folks. But I have always had the Inspiring Our Future 360 Degrees program going on. And so, what I've now done is dovetail all of this work underneath a foundation, an organization, and I call that organization Love Has Hands. Now, where did this Love Has Hands concept come from? It comes from my first book I've ever written. It that was in 2008. It was a book of quotations and proverbs and photos. And when I opened the first page, that was the first quote: "Love has hands."
Mm.
And so I said, let's use this as the name of the organization. And so all of the work that we have been doing in terms of activating the genius in our young people and teaching them what we call success habits or genius habits, we have put all of that, we're putting all of that underneath the Love Has Hands Foundation as a not as a profit.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Thank you so much for that. Now tell us about the event that's happening tomorrow.
The Love Has Hands Foundation launch,
Yes.
it is going to be at 5 p.m. Jamaica time, 6 p.m. US or Canadian time, Eastern Standard Time. And persons can register on the website for the foundation, which is www.lovehashandsfoundation.org. That's
Thank you so much.
lovehashandsfoundation.org. So they
That's
can
all.
they once they go on the website and they'll see the launch being advertised. Once they click on it, it will take them right to the registration page. And it's important that we register so we can know who will be there and make sure we have seat in the house for everybody. No, we're not serving any refreshment. We're not serving
Hmm.
any jerk chicken, but yes, we still need to know who is coming in, who is going to be in the room. Our theme for the evening is Love in the Sky. So it's an aircraft, and you need to make sure we need to account for everybody.
That you're on board and we have our tickets. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's listen to the ad now for Love Has Hands Foundation launch.
Come share in this significant milestone. We are inviting you to share in the official launch of the Love Has Hands Foundation on Sunday, April 25 from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Over the past 5 years, we have been working in schools, communities, homes, churches, and workplaces to fight the issues which create a more ugly, violent, and ungodly society. Together, we can help change lives. Register now. You can make a difference. Our 4 arms of love are inspiring our future 360 degrees, share your Sunday pot, fix my public school bathroom, and family supporting family. Go to www.lovehashandsfoundation.org or call 876 383 2358.
Awesome. And we're looking forward to everyone just being a part of Love Has Hands Foundation. Love is a verb, and definitely a verb is what? An action word. And we're expecting everyone to be a part of it, right, Jesse? You're in New York. I am elsewhere. And I'm expecting even Canada to come on board. All of you in the 70 plus countries that you are listening to this right now, please support, support, support. And I'm going to get to the 4 arms of love. And I want you to break that down for us, Dr. Gordon. But before that, let me just say, whenever I see a man of purpose just going ahead and doing what it is that he does, it's definitely something to commend, and it's highlightable. Is that a word? It is highlightable.
Yes.
Dr. Gordon is one of those persons that always, whenever I hear of him doing things, I really do stop to listen, and I want to really salute you. And that's one of the words you will always hear in this segment, that we salute our men of color who are putting the effort. They're not just about their own business, they're about their father's business, and they are doing it in the spirit of excellence. All right, so Dr. Gordon, tell us about the 4 arms of this project, because I mean, I love the part one because I love food, but go ahead and walk us down.
So this
Tell us
this
more
all
about that.
started. This all started because what we don't realize is that there are solutions out there that we don't know of that are waiting for questions.
Mm,
There are answers out there waiting for questions, but we have to ask. And Jesus gave us that very important solution. How to get anything you want in life? Ask. And so, shortly after the fatal stabbing of the 14-year-old JC boy on the public bus, it broke my heart. It terrorized me. I was torn. I couldn't function at home. I couldn't function at work. And so I cried out to God, and I quit my professional job and has been
wow.
going around Jamaica to use music and art and journaling and what we call success habit to bring about the change in our people's behavior and try to steer them away from more violent behaviors to, becoming more meaningful persons in the society. So all of that effort, we call that inspiring our future 360 degrees. So we use the music, we use the art, we use the journaling. So it's a unique combination of art, music, science, and faith. And we have been seeing tremendous changes right across. Everywhere we go, we're seeing amazing changes in people's behavior. In fact, in one of the sessions I had, persons asked me, do you have psychology in your background? I said, absolutely not. And they said, but if you just go to a home once, how effective is that? And I said, well, I know, I understand. The scientist and the psychologist says changes in behavior take place over 21 days, 30 days, 45 days. I said, I understand. And we do have tools that we apply over a certain time because some behaviors change over time. But then right there, I got an inspiration, Marsha and Jesse. And I said to them, do you remember when you were a child? And let us assume it was your finger that came in contact with fire. Do you remember when your finger first came in contact with fire? Did you need 21 days? Did you need 30 days of that? Did you need 45 days or 60 days of that to know you should never ever touch fire again? I said, built into this program is an element of fire. And so inspiring our future 360 degrees is fire.
Wow.
Fire. And so that's the first arm. The second arm, share your Sunday pot. You said you like that one? When
Yes, I do.
when we were growing up, our parents had this, and the village itself and the community had this I don't know if we call it the culture, this norm where you share your Sunday dinner. You don't ask if Master Joe down the road have dinner. You don't ask. You just share some food and send it to Master Joe. And we had to take it. We had the burden. I don't know if I should call it a burden of taking the meal to Master Joe and inhaling all of that sweet scent because you had to take it and deliver it to him before you could come and have yours. And so we grew up with that kind of principle. Food for us is food for all. So whenever my father returned from the countryside and he'd get some banana or yam, it was always being shared with the neighbor. And so the share your Sunday pot is a concept that food for us is food for all. So in with that program, we're looking at get mobilizing communities, citizens association. We according to CDC, we have 774 communities in Jamaica. We would love to be leading the chanting it, leading it to say, um, we want you to get on board and share your Sunday pot in your community, and you can move it from there. So that's the second arm.
Awesome.
The third arm is fix my public school bathroom. Now this one is huge.
Yes, it is.
You'd never imagine, Marsha and Jesse, how scent affects you.
Oh.
Years after you inhale a certain scent, there's a process called association. So you associate a certain scent with something. It makes you feel, it brings back the memory, and it makes you feel sad again every time that scent comes across. So scent is like that, and to think that we've been having our young people um, in public in public schools using very deplorable bathrooms is, I mean, it's so sad. It robs them of their self-esteem. It robs them of their dignity. And I didn't realize how huge it was until I started meeting with the principals and the school boards, and they are frustrated. So the whole concept about fix my public school bathroom is to break down the problem some more. Look at it from an infrastructure perspective. Look at it from a change management and how we manage the bathroom. So that's a huge one that will require all the different foundations in Jamaica, and the government, the private sector, etc., to come on board, decide on what a model bathroom looks like, and then make one somewhere,
Implement.
and then and
Yeah.
then and then spread it across the nation. But very quickly, what I found with the bathroom in the public schools is that we're using what we call single use facets in these
Mm-hmm.
in these multiple use areas. So what we have in our homes, for example, we're using that in the public school bathroom where you have 1,500 children, and if each child use that twice, that's 3,000 use per day. So that's one of the errors that I've found so far that I'm certainly we have in our document outlining our findings. Then the final one, family supporting family. As we go from school to school and we meet a child, because I laud all the back to school programs. I do laud them, and I don't have an issue with them. But here's where I want them to pay attention. We are having back to school is an issue, but also staying in school is an issue. So you'll find that you get a pair of shoes. Michael got a pair of new shoes for September, but it's a one pair of shoes. So this one pair of shoe goes everywhere. By December, it's no good, and Michael no longer can go to school January. And so what we've realized in going around is that when you give a child lunch money, for example, because they're not coming to school consistently, they don't have the money. When you give that child the lunch money, we realize that sometimes that child don't get the money because that money had to be used to buy dinner. And so it's not the child who is in the issue only by themselves. It's a family. So what we're devising is strong families supporting other families. When they go to the grocery stores bi-weekly, monthly, they also buy groceries for that particular family.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. And those are the four arms of Love Has Hands Foundation. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Dr. Gordon. Tell us again how we can support you. And I mean, not just with this particular launch, but just overall, tell us how we can reach out, how we can reach out in order to support what it is that you do.
Okay, so persons can WhatsApp 876-383-2358. That's 876-383-2358. They can go to the Lovers Hands Foundation.org website. They can go to my personal website, which is Jermaine with a J,
Yes,
jermainedgordon.com. That's where all my music is. But they can also contact me. They can make donations there as well, or they can make it through the Lovers Hands Foundation website. Both is okay. For persons who might need a little help, they can WhatsApp the number first, and we can provide them with some assistance if they have other ways they want to assist, whether it's a check, etc. And for persons who want to come on as volunteers, we welcome you. We love serving, and we love having other people serving with us.
awesome. Awesome. What are some of the areas they can volunteer before we go?
Okay, so before COVID, we would have gone physically into the places. Sometimes we go there, we do the girls' hair, we do their nails. Sometimes it's the boys, and we do them, we trim them, we do all kinds of stuff. So we not only just give them packages, we go there and offer service. So those are some of the areas. Other areas may include conducting workshops, whether it is goal setting workshop or nutrition or some other form of training that we offer to the young people while we're there. So our volunteers are from a wide cross section. Students, we have teachers, we have accountants, we have doctors, we have nurses, mechanics, all barbers, hairdressers, all of those people make up our team of volunteers. Oh,
That's just
by the
awesome.
way,
Yes.
on Sunday, we are launching what we call also our youth volunteer advisors. This is where we reach out to youths between the ages of 12 to 35 and say to them, we want you to help us in youth in youths assisting youths to navigate through life, and also youths against violence. So those are some of the areas apart from donations and partnerships that persons can work along with us.
Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love all of it. Dr. Gordon, on behalf of everyone everywhere, I want to thank you for your vision and all it is that you are doing. So, if you are listening, you are watching from whatever platform, here's an opportunity to be an extended arm. So, go ahead, check out the website, connect with Dr. Gordon, whether via WhatsApp or email, and definitely show up tomorrow. I'll definitely be there. Love has hands. Foundation launch. You don't have to do it alone. Collaboration, Jesse, is a big, big deal. You get more done when you work together. Dr. Gordon, thank you so much for being here with us today.
I want to
And
thank you.
yes,
I want to thank you for having me. And here's how your listeners can get on board with us right away. Starting tomorrow, when they get up, start loving your neighbor as yourself.
mm,
Learn what it is to love yourself first, and then start treating that person the way you'd want to be treated. And you automatically are a part of what we're doing.
I love the message.
Powerful.
Powerful.
Yep.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you so much for coming, sir, and have a wonderful rest of day. Thank you so much.
Thank you
So
too.
that Yes. So that was Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon on his initiative, Love Has Hands Foundation. Go to lovehashandsfoundation.org for more. Wow,
More.
Jesse, this morning has just been absolutely fabulous so far.
It has. It certainly has. I mean, I'm definitely going to support, even if I'm, you said we could, even if you're in the United States. So I'm so excited.
Yes, and I love particularly the breakdown of the four initiatives. I can remember even my own primary school, going to school, and the memory of the bathrooms, it was just terrible, And he said something very important, instead of public or commercial bathrooms are oftentimes at school built as like a personal bathroom, and there is a difference. You know, we do have some
Right.
schools I know of that even still use what we call pit latrines. So that's something definitely to think about in terms of reaching young people and making spaces more comfortable for them. Yeah. Oh, wow. I love it. Absolutely love it. And now we want to turn our attention to travel. To travel. And so we have with us today Miss Akeelia Roper. And she is born and raised Christian Jamaican who migrated to Canada 4 years ago through the International Student Program. She is now a trained immigration consultant that is on her way to getting her license in the field. Hello, Mrs. Roper. How are you?
Oh,
Hi, Marsha. Hi. I'm doing
How-
good. Are you hearing me well?
yes, we
yes.
are.
Perfect.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much for being here with us on this beautiful Saturday morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. Before we get to today, Akila is going to talk about the top 10 things to consider before you migrate. Have you ever thought of
Mhm.
migrating? Jesse, you're in the
Yeah.
US. A lot of times, us in the Caribbean want to come over there to the US, but have you ever
Yeah.
thought of migrating?
Yes. A lot. Many times. Let's just say the whole eight years, the whole ex-president, 44, that whole period. Yeah.
Yes.
Strongly thinking. Yeah. Strongly thinking.
Oh my goodness. So she's going to share 10 things to consider before we even think about it. Migration is a very popular topic and a very important topic because predominantly in New York, we find mostly Caribbean people
Yeah.
that are there. And we still have more persons that are thinking about, listen, I would like to experience a different culture. I want more for my life,
Mhm.
not necessarily more too, but
Right.
perhaps something different. So, Mrs. Roper, tell us first of all, about your student program and wanting to come to Canada or go to Canada.
Well, I don't think that there's much that I can say about me wanting to come to Canada. Because I don't think I thought about it before I
Mhm.
actually came. I met my husband, who was then my boyfriend at the time. When I met him, he wanted to come to Canada, and I figured, well, I'm not doing anything better, so I guess I'll come with you. I never gave it much thought. He didn't have the whole situation figured out either. We kind of worked on it together. We came here as students together, but I there was no premeditated there was no great thought process that I could come up with and say, oh, I wanted to leave Jamaica because of the crime and the bad. I never actually thought about it. So much so, sometimes I'm here and I often think about going back home, and he'll
Mm.
say to me that I never paid taxes in Jamaica. So I am just quite unfamiliar with some stuff as to um the reasons as to why I would want to go back home. So I don't have any big reason as to how I came up with it. He just threw out the idea, and I figured it would be a great thing to work on with him, and here we are, almost 5 years later.
Okay.
And then your
Wow.
second question was the student program. It's just like the States in general, where you apply for a college or a university for whatever program that you want to do. And once you get accepted to the school, you apply for your student visas. And once you get your visa, then you can travel. You can travel to the country, and you are let through. You'd have to pay the tuition from home. So from where you are, you'd have to pay the tuition so that
Mhm.
the immigration officers would see that yes, you're serious, yes, you can afford it. But it's pretty similar to the States. You pay international tuition, which is a killer, but it's not a complicated process in general.
Okay, I got you. So we move from Jamaica to being a student to being married. Let's talk about your training as an immigration consultant. Why that area of study?
When my husband and I we were just dating at the time, but we started the process on our own. But there were some times that we got to a roadblock where we just needed help from an immigration, somebody who knew the process, or who knew a little bit more than we did, because all we were doing was reading things online, asking friends or getting secondhand information, and just it was just we needed someone to put the information together. And we went to a immigration consultant. I would not call his name, but we went to an immigration consultant, and we literally sat there and wasted our money because he didn't tell us anything. He was so unhelpful. And I remember leaving his office and saying, I am going to be his competition.
Whoa.
I am going to
Oh.
help people, even the people who don't have money, because we didn't have the money. Believe me, we didn't have the money. And he literally just said, well, you can't go. Well, you can't go. And I understand now, being an immigration, well, now having the training, I understand, but I also see where he could have helped. So it was because of his lack of care, and I don't know, due
Sensitivity.
diligence or
Yeah.
whatever it is, that inspired me to go into this field. A lot of people want to migrate, and a lot of people want someone to help them who actually care and not just want to take their money and just.
Right.
So that's what inspired me. That's what got me started. I did my program first, because you have to be a permanent resident. You have to be a resident in the country to get that type of training, to get an immigration consultant training. So I did my undergrad in law first, and then when I
Mhm.
got my residency, I transferred over and did the immigration consultant certification.
Interesting. And I love it being the change that you want to see. And hats off to you, Akeelia, for following your path, and just not wanting to be selfish, but actually using what it is, your experience and your education to help others in a most genuine way. All right, so let's go to the fun part. I want you to tell us the top 10 things to consider before you migrate. Go.
Um, I want to start off with the most common things, I think. How, why, when.
Mhm.
And so those are the first three things that I think I initially think about. How is, what program are you going to do? I want to strongly discourage persons from going about it in any form of a legal way. Canada is a country that is very welcoming to immigrants, and there are a lot of programs out there that you can utilize in order to come into the country. So I'd encourage people to look into those and try to get help as best as possible. So it's how, find legitimate reasons, ways, and it's why. Why do you want to come to the country? For me, I didn't have a big why. I just figured that it wouldn't hurt, and glory be to God, it didn't. But actually, it could hurt. It could have hurt, because I was quite young. Looking back at it right now, I was quite young. So your why. Why do you want to leave the country that you are in? Whether it's the economy, a better life, whatever it is, why do you want to leave the country? And when? One of the things that we did initially is set a target month, a target year, and work towards that time. When we initially went to the immigration consultant, he told us, "Oh, you can't do it," and we pushed back our date a couple months, maybe like 6 months, because he told us we can't do it. And then we figured out like other ways of how to do it. So set a time limit. Don't just say, "Oh, I want to come, I want to migrate." Set a time limit, and then put together your paperwork or whatever it is that you need to do in order to make it happen. And with who is my fourth one. Again, I'm going to try to keep count here. With
Yeah.
who is my fourth one. I came here with he was then my boyfriend. And I cannot imagine coming here alone. I have a cousin that came here alone, so she migrated to yeah, she was quite a distance away. Um, from me, and she came here alone, and it was so much, she had such a different experience, kind of roughing. Listen, Canada is cold.
Yeah.
In On April 21st, I woke up, which was this morning. I woke up and there was snow outside. It's almost summer. I don't know what's happening, but Canada is
Good.
cold, and it can get very difficult to weather the storms quite literally on your own. So coming here, that my boyfriend eventually became my husband, coming here with someone who was as dedicated to the task as I was, and someone who was just supportive, and we just knew what we wanted, and we were just aggressively going after it. I feel like if you might want to think about coming here with someone, or I don't know, or I don't know. So the next, so I'll just go to the next one. 5 is, who do you have in the country? Is probably something to consider as well. So if you're not migrating with someone, who do you have in the country? Community is very important. I didn't have any family in this country, neither did my husband, which made the situation even more difficult. It's a foreign country. It was our first time coming to Canada, very, very first time coming into Canada, and we were migrating here. So, needless to say, it was difficult. But consider, who do you have in the country? Can you make connections with them? What are they like? Consider also, you might not have people directly, relatives or so
Mhm.
forth. You might not have those people that are directly related to you in the country, but figure out if it's a country that you have people. I am a person of color. If you have people of
Mhm.
color there, a lot of times, I'm talking about my experience, I find that it is, they're supportive. Throughout my
Mhm.
schooling, I ended up almost getting kicked out of school at one point because of finances. But prior to that, I had connected with a church that was very supportive, and they were the ones who helped me through school. So even though I didn't have family, I knew I was coming to an area in Canada that was quite diverse, and I knew that
Mhm.
I would be able to make connections anywhere. I'll be anywhere and find a church. Find a
Mm.
church.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The church raised me. Church raised me. You'll be fine. So that's my fifth one, correct?
All
Yep.
right.
Okay, so where will you live would be another one. Where particularly would you live? Before we came up, we got housing situation sorted out. He had friends here, and I had friends here, so we had rented places. Think about that. So that's 5. So that's 6. Where would you live in particular? Would you be living with family? Would you be living with um, friends? 7, the economy. What is the economy like in the country? What is it that you would be able to get a job immediately? How would you support yourself? Is so in Canada, well, particularly where we migrated to, there's a lot of jobs, but not necessarily jobs that you would necessarily like.
For
So
example,
for example, when we start, my husband has an accounting degree, and when we came here, we were working in factories. We were on the production
Mm.
line going, and there's nothing wrong with working in a factory, but at the same time, he had an accounting degree. I'm pretty sure that he would have preferred
Yeah.
to
Use
be
it.
in an environment that would more be suitable for his education. But at the time, he was unable to find that, and you find that in countries like this one, they prefer their education. So you'd have an education from Jamaica, and you find it quite difficult to get
so
a
is it
job.
that you have to start all over, like you have to go back to school?
Depends
Yeah.
on what you do. Depends on what you do. I had a friend that was a lawyer not a lawyer, a doctor in Guyana, and ended up coming here. She ended up having to start over. So much so she ended up going into accounting. She rather going into accounting than starting over. So there are some fields that medicine you do quite a bit and it will feel like starting over. Law, you'd have to do you'd have to spend an extra year in doing some studies, doing some exams, and so it depends. It depends. And what I find that most people do is they have a degree from, let's say, Jamaica, let's say Bahamas, let's say even the US. Don't even the US, they're not they're not exempt. Even the US, you'd have them come in with their education and they would have a degree from that place or a master's from wherever country they're coming from. And they'll come here and they would do a certification, something of lesser value, but in some way the employer looks at that as some validation of what you had before. Did you understand what I just said?
Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yes, so validation, because I'm looking and I'm like, am I coming through?
You are. Go ahead.
Yes,
Yes.
some validation of what you've done before. So not necessarily starting over, but you have to get it's most persons have to get at least a certification, a little diploma or something to say, okay, I've
Right,
continued my
Mhm.
education here.
right. They want to know
So
that you understand the culture well, not necessarily that, but you have a connection,
you
an
have some form
education
of a
Mhm.
connection.
connection. So you
Yeah.
pass through the Canadian system even a little,
Mm-hmm.
even a little.
Yes, yes,
Um, So now I'm at 8. So now I'm
yes,
at my ninth one, right?
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. Um, so I just spoke about the economy. Um, what you'd want to think about the climate in the country. It sounds, I don't know if it sounds simple, but it's not simple. I
Yep.
never quite thought about how cold Canada can be.
Yes.
And so when I was coming, I just bought like a $15 jacket from somewhere. I just thought
What?
that that would have sufficed. I was in the States. We had traveled to the States first and we were dealing with some stuff there and then we came over and it did not suffice. So
Wow.
Oh.
it would be remiss of me not to let you know that you should
The
consider
weather.
the climate.
Check the
Mhm.
weather.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Check the weather because I'm coming from Jamaica and I was not a traveler. I've been to the States a couple times, but I was not a traveler. I've never experienced winter. I'm talking about winter, winter. You know?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So get your warm clothes if it's warm. I guess you could have your summer clothes if it's a more summery place. But I'm thinking about the climate and understanding the true dedication because it's only now that I can afford a proper, quote unquote, proper winter jacket and a vehicle that I can tell people that winter isn't that bad
Mm.
because I
Mhm.
literally I have a really good jacket and I go right into my car and I come out and that's the only time that
You
I
encounter the cold.
experience
Mhm.
any
Mm-hmm.
form of a cold. So it's just it's things like that. Um yeah, and I want to say also, I spoke about, so my 10th one would be a little bit narrowing down on the where you'd migrate to. I want to talk about where in particular you would migrate to. So Canada is a big country. The land is, if I'm not mistaken, I think the land of Canada is bigger than the states.
Mm-hmm.
The land that
Mhm.
we have is bigger. Now, some of it is inhabitable because it's cold,
Mhm.
but the land that we have is quite big, and we in different provinces. So in Jamaica, we call them parishes, and in the states, you call them in the states you call them states. Here
Yeah.
we call them
Mhm.
provinces, and in each province you'd find different um different rules, sometimes different opportunities. Now, I often tell people that if I knew better, I would not have come to Toronto. Yes,
Mm.
Toronto is a melting pot. Yes, Toronto is where I could find people of my own my own race and my own culture. But I wish I had thought about the different opportunities that exist outside of Toronto.
Talk to us more
Um,
about that.
Yeah.
so in different, so first of all, housing is quite expensive. Toronto is a city. Housing is quite expensive here, and for the house that I bought, I could maybe get two of the same size house somewhere else in another province.
Mm.
So
Oh,
Okay.
being in, it's just like being in New York. It's just like being in New York versus, I don't know the states very well, but it's just like being in New York versus, I don't
probably
know which other
Connecticut or
states,
It's
being
kind
somewhere
of
like
like
in
that.
like South Carolina or
yeah, it's kind
something.
of
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
So
being
yeah, so
in the Amazon.
there's just different
Cost of living
different
factors.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
different things that different opportunities that you could get into. Also, there are some provinces that have it is easier to get your quote unquote easier to get your residency because they're so short and people don't immigrants don't necessarily migrate there. It's not necessarily the first choice to migrate to, for
Mm.
whatever reason, because I guess because sometimes they're not popular, um, or whatever it is, but their immigration system is not as backed up as it would have
Mm.
been here in Toronto. And backed up is a strong word because I don't consider, I know people that are trying to get through the immigration system in New York, and I don't consider it even half as backed up as um, New York, but it is still a little bit more
Busy.
than you'd experience somewhere else in another province. So those are my 10
Understood.
things.
Wow, that's a lot to
Yeah.
consider, right, Jesse?
Yep. Yep. I mean, I've talked about, well, yeah, about migrating, and I do have to say that weather is a big factor, only
Yeah.
because you have to like live there. Like if I were to, I'm not a cold person, and I'm actually right now in Buffalo, New York, for
Yes.
school. So I'm close to you. I've been in Canada, because I have family there. So I visited a few times. I'm just like, yeah, Canada's not a place that I would want to go. It's not my second home. No, thank you. No, thank you. But I could see myself like second home, maybe like you said, like southern states or like Europe or anywhere in the Caribbean and stuff like that. Like that's where
Mm.
probably I would go. We do have a question here. Is the work that you do, is it just you're helping in just Canada, or do you also help in the United States as well as far as immigration?
Well, I am only getting licensed to work for people who are migrating to Canada.
Okay.
So it can be from anywhere to Canada.
Yes,
Canada.
it can be from anywhere in the world to Canada.
Okay, awesome. You know what I wanted to ask you before we got to this last question? You were talking about Toronto being, the cost of living in Toronto is extremely high. What's a recommended place for someone who's migrating?
That is a big question because it's depending on what field you're in. It's depending
Mm.
on it's depending on what what's your what's your cold tolerance level. And I keep saying that because it's a real deal. Like people go into depression over the cold. So for people who I don't know, for men who work in the oil, work in factories, or work on or who are willing to work on oil rigs and stuff like that, I would probably send them to like a province called Edmonton or Saskatchewan, or those other provinces.
Mm.
Mhm.
So it's all dependent on what if for someone who is looking for a government job who speaks fluent French, or who has, I don't know, an economic background, who is looking for to work in government, I would tell them to go to Ottawa, because that's where our quote unquote White House, that's our Washington D.C. Um, so I would tell them to
Right.
go there, especially if they speak fluent French. So it's just dependent on what field you're in and what you're looking for. For someone who is just starting out, who would like to go to attend school and to take the route that I have taken, I would probably, it depends on if they're okay with being isolated. I would probably send them to um, Nunavut, or sorry, I would send them to other provinces, but not Toronto. For someone who has family here, and for someone who cares about just having people around them,
Mhm.
I would definitely say come to Toronto. We are here.
Okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. And I love that. And I love how just the way you express, because I would not even think, if I wanted to migrate, that it depends on what I wanted to do aside from the temperature. Because let's put that out there. One of the things they ask you for when you travel is like your medical history. And for somebody like me, for instance, I have what's called cold urticaria. Just as how someone has eczema, which is an allergy to heat, I have an allergy to cold. So very
Massa.
important. Yeah, the weather thing is very, very critical. I would love to visit though, but now I'm thinking, where is the warmer side of Canada? Because Canada is cold generally.
Um,
I don't
I
think
It
so.
is cold. I think it's cold everywhere, but I believe that here in the city where I am balling for coal, is where it is the warmest, honestly. Um,
Wow.
I think I've heard that British Columbia is um on the warmer side as well, but I am
Hmm.
not sure of how truthful that is.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting. Thank you. That's something definitely I will look
Oh,
into.
so yeah, so there's a city in British Columbia called Victoria,
Hmm.
and I just did a quick search, and it says that it is the warmest city in Canada.
Oh,
Oh,
So, and I do not believe it's very warm, but it is the warmest city
so
in
we're good.
Canada.
yeah, it's like choose your choose the
Yeah,
letter
let's
of
let
your birth.
Yeah.
yeah. It's basically.
Okay, I understand. How can we contact you? I mean, I know that you are on your way to getting your license. Is there any way that we can follow you in the meantime and stay close until you have officially launched as an
Okay,
immigration consultant?
I haven't officially launched as an immigration consultant, as you said. However, I am giving away free information, um, free basic information that persons can use. I'm giving that away on my Instagram, on my YouTube page.
Mm. What's your handle?
Um, could you repeat that?
What's your YouTube handle?
Okay, so my YouTube. Okay, hold on, just one second. So my YouTube handle is Roper.
Mhm.
Sorry, I just cut off. Sorry. My YouTube handle is Roper Immigration Hub.
Mm.
So it's ROP as in Peter, ER,
Mhm.
Immigration Hub, HUB.
Roper Immigration Hub. That's your
Yes.
handle. Okay.
So that's for my YouTube, and there I'm planning on. I have 3 videos up now, but I'm planning on posting a lot more about what people would really want to know just off the bat.
Awesome. Basic information, very critical, very important. Well, Miss Roper, based on the information that you have given to us today, I would say you're well underway in getting your license. Let me put that
Yeah.
out there.
I receive it. I receive it. I'm having a
Yes.
Yes,
little
you
trouble.
will.
I'm having a little trouble settling in to settle down and to do it. But let's just claim focus.
Oh, wow. I think she fell off the
Uh,
call there. Okay, definitely. You are listening to Weekends with Marsha
Weekend with
J
Marsha J
and
and
Jesse.
Jesse. That was
Yes,
awesome, Marsha. I
yes,
mean,
it was. I still had questions for her, because we
I
need to know if she's
know.
interested in a partnership because we're expanding.
Yep.
Let's just put that out there.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, she's back. Is she back?
And
Let's see. Let's give her a quick
She's
second.
back.
I
Akila?
am. Yes, I'm not sure what just happened. I'm sorry.
No problem. It's technology. It happens.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So
You
I
can
was
finish up.
saying that I'm just settling in to do the immigration consultant exam now, so you can look out for me very soon.
Definitely. Would you be interested in a media partnership? Let's just ask that out
Yep.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
What would that entail? You're putting me on the spot.
well,
What would that
Yes.
entail?
we can talk more about it after the show for
The
sure.
Yep.
legal side
But
of me don't want to say yes
it
or no.
that's all right. That's all right. You just need to know how far do you want to take this thing and
Go.
how wide is your scope. Definitely. But we would love to connect with you some more after the
Mm-hmm.
show. Thank you so much for being with
Yes.
us here on this beautiful Saturday morning and just feeding us with that information. Top 10 things to
Yes.
consider when you migrate. We are here with
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Eukelia Roper, and she has just graced us with some information that is just absolutely edifying, right, Jesse? Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yep. So great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Hopefully, I
Let me,
can come back
Mhm.
again.
I was about to say that,
Of
girl. You first me.
course.
We are definitely looking forward to having you back again. Thank you so, so much. Wow. I love it. I love it, Jesse.
I love it too. And you know
I
what
love
got
travel. I love our travel segment.
yes, and what got me thinking, a lot of these tips are interchangeable with just planning a vacation in general. You know,
Mm, you're right.
like
I never thought about that. Thank you for
like
that.
yeah, like even if you're going on vacation and like say if you have are someone with a lot of medical problems, you know, do you have your full medication with you? How long are you going to be staying? Is the area, populated or are you going to go more rural? Because then you need to have enough medication. Like, it's, yeah,
Yes.
I
What
think
is the
that
weather?
it's,
Listen, I am an avid person for when I'm traveling. The first thing I do before the ticket is even purchased is to check the
mm-hmm,
weather at that time of year. I remember the first time I
yep,
went to New York, right?
mm-hmm,
And I was told, "Oh, it's cool, but listen, we're Caribbean, right?
yep,
So
yep,
cool for you is
it's
freezer
different.
for us."
Yep,
And I came out to the airport, collected my luggage, and I was about to go outside. When the doors opened, I didn't even step outside. I felt my entire face like it was covered with a thin layer of ice. I turned around and went back inside.
mm-mm,
Turned
mm-mm.
around, Jesse. Turned right around.
No,
So,
no, no. I know my dad tells me like this story. I don't know what like weather period my mom when she immigrated. I know my dad immigrated like October, November in New York, and
mhm.
all he had was short sleeve shirt. They're from Guyana, but
Ooh,
all he had was short sleeve shirt, like no jacket at all. I think he had like yeah, I think he said like either shorts or like a little bit like cargo-ish type pants, something like that. But nothing at all prepared for like a October, November New
mm, mm,
York
mm, mm,
weather.
mm. Even
No,
though it's in the past,
no.
I feel his pain. I
I
promise
think
you.
he every couple years he brings it up, so I think it's just a painful memory.
I
But
can't
oh,
imagine. Listen, when you're thinking about lifestyle, definitely you want to take into consideration all of these things, right? And so, speaking of
mhm,
lifestyle, this is the interests, opinions, behaviors, and behavioral orientations of an individual, group, or even a culture in one's own development of self. Are you deliberate and calculated to live the life you love? What is your mindset in wealth, wellness, and day-to-day life? All right, so we want to start with wealth mindsets. Jesse, tell us about wealth mindset.
So, what is a wealth mindset? So, a wealth mindset is a set of beliefs, habits, and behaviors that separates the wealthy from the rest. A wealth mindset will guide you to make the most of the money that you have. And today we're going to be talking about consumer alert job scams that's going on. So, let
Mm.
me see here. We could pull it up.
Consumer alert information. Listen, we just had a story in Jamaica recently. Well, I've heard the stories
Mm-hmm.
of persons. I know of persons personally who have, I will putting up that article, who have had incidences where they've heard of overseas job programs and they got scammed, pay thousands of dollars just to secure a place in a job
Mm-hmm.
overseas or perhaps on the sea. And
Yeah.
on the day, this account was one of my friends, on the day they were supposed to leave and they're calling for something. They even
Mm-hmm.
went to the airport. Everything was fake. The ticket was fake. Everything was just fake.
Oh,
And she cried like a child. And I cried with her, to be honest, because I felt it. Because
I
you don't have money, but you have to spend money in order
spend
to
money.
get a job. And
Yep.
then to find out that. So we're going to talk about um, don't let job scams block your path forward, right? Spot and avoid job scans. Stay on the road to recovery. Avoid job scans. Never pay to
Pay
get
to
a
get
job.
a job.
And we want to thank consumer.ftc.gov for this information. You can go ahead, Jesse.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, never pay to get a job. Don't bank on a cleared check. Don't believe ads for previous undisclosed federal government jobs. Research potential employers. Search online for a company's name, email address, and phone number. If you've heard of the company, look on its website, call or email to find out if it is a real job. Find legitimate job listings. Try visiting sites like your state's career one stop. I know Indeed is a good place. Monster, LinkedIn, very professional
Mhm.
website. But I do also want to say, like, I myself was caught in that, and a
Mm.
friend of mine where it was looked like a legit, job position online. Talked to them, and one um thing that happened was this was pre-COVID, anything like that,
Yeah.
was to communicate via like Google Hangout or to communicate via WhatsApp for a job. That is a big, 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 big no go. Um, and the friend of mine, she like continued doing it, and they're like, okay, well, you'll pass this interview, which was like a chat, and they're like, okay, we're gonna send you, I don't know, X amount of money via check. Remember, check cleared. Um, to get like supplies and stuff like that, and then you have your computer set up and all that. And I'm just like, this ain't it. I
Mhm.
had another friend of mine who found a job via Craigslist, and when he was kind of telling me about it, he himself also thought it was kind of fishy, but it was like
Mm.
a real place in New York City. But the way they went about it, and then we went to the building, it didn't look like a full like office building. It looked kind of sketchy kind of thing.
Mm.
And before they tried to bring him in, he was just like, nah, let me just leave. Let me just go home. This isn't a job. and to also trust his gut instinct. But they are getting you, and I do want you guys to also be careful, because with everything being online now, they're not to say that interviews aren't conducted via Zoom and stuff like that, but just double check the company, that this is an actual company, this is their email address,
Man.
you know, just to be safe. Because then you could give them your information. Because, you know, what if they ask, you know, we need your social security, you know, because they do need that for jobs and stuff. But you start giving information like that, and next thing they have your whole identity there. So
Definitely something to look out for, you know. And even when I was going to school, normally we've had posters of camp programs and things like that. And these were like short term, like summer jobs and things like that. We advise parents as well to make sure that you don't just take your child's word for it. They come home from school with a flyer, or they saw something online, vet it, check. Consumer alerts are there to protect you. Make sure that you know. And we understand, life is really challenging right now, and especially for persons who have been displaced, especially in the tourism sector. And by way of information, just reading through some information online, we're seeing where persons are even discouraged from visiting other countries, which means that if countries don't have tourists, people won't have jobs, you know, and so they may be looking to other ways and means in order to receive a job. But don't let anxiety get the best of you. Do your due diligence and do your checks. Very important, Jesse. Very, very important.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that being said, we want to turn our attention to wellness. And this month is known as
Autism Awareness Month. And yeah, we're going to pull up the website from autismspeaks.org, just so that you guys know. You may have, if you guys don't know, I do work in healthcare, and you may have, you know, siblings or children or people that you come in contact with just in life that may have autism, and just to be aware of that. If you guys don't know, autism or autism spectrum disorder is a disorder that refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. And according to the Centers of Disease Control, autism affects an estimated 1 in 54 children in the United States today. We know that there is not one autism, but many subtypes, most influenced by a combination of genetic factors and environmental factors. But because autism is a spectrum disorder, each person with autism has a distinct set of strengths and challenges. The ways in which people with autism learn, think, and problem solve can range from highly skilled to severely challenged. Some people with this disorder may require significant support in their daily lives, while others may need less support and in some cases live entirely independently. I know if we scroll up a little bit on that website, and we click what is autism, there's some symptoms, and we could click on that real quick. So while that, signs of autism. So some signs are autism. So you guys know some infants show hints in their first couple of months, but in others, most obvious behaviors aren't shown until the ages of 2 or 3. Not all children with autism show all signs, and many children who don't have autism show a few. That's why a professional is needed to actually be able to diagnose that your child may or may not have autism. So some signs that may have is by 6 months, Few smiles, they're not really engaging when you're looking at them. Doesn't seem like warm, joyful, or engaging expressions, limited to no eye contact. Again, if they have little or no back or forth sharing sounds, that's around 9 months. Around 12 months of age, if they're not baby battle, if they're not pointing or reacting or reaching or waving to things, if you call them by their name and they're not like kind of turning their head. Little to four new words, very few phrases. And at any age, they may have a variety of these symptoms: loss of previous acquired speech, avoidance of eye contact, persistent preference for solitude, difficulty understanding other people's feelings, delayed language development, persistent repetition of words or phrases, resistance to minor changes in routines and surroundings, restricted interest, repetitive behaviors like flapping, rocking, spinning back and forth, unusual and intense reactions to sounds, smells, tastes, textures, lights, or colors. And if we could scroll there, we do have this little video. I'm not sure if we're able to play it. If we scroll all the way down.
And that's a very extensive list, Jesse. Very extensive. I think I've witnessed maybe one person who has autism, and my heart goes out especially to the parents who have children who experience this, because it must be difficult.
Yes, I mean, I have a good amount of patients that I've seen have autism, children, and it does vary from spectrum, from very high functioning to where you won't really be able to tell that they have autism, to some children that you're able to tell or may need more help and stuff like that. I've had I actually remember a memory of my AP Bio high school teacher whose son had autism, and we did like an autism awareness, and she would do it for all of her classes, and we basically in the parking lot set up like a mini like carnival, and we had like different sections. We had like duck tank, and we had like arts and crafts you can do and stuff like that. And I remember our class raised, I want to say $25,000 for autism awareness week. I want to say stuff around there. It was like the highest that they've raised at that time. But yeah, the patients that I've had, they're just so sweet, so sweet. So yeah, so you guys know, just to check out autismspeaks.org, and you guys could also donate on that website as well.
Yes, and Autism Awareness Month this year runs from the 1st of April, and we're winding down to the end of April, and it closes off on the 30th of April. Definitely. All right, and so now we turn our attention to our Spotlight feature, and today's Spotlight guest, Jesse, guess who's back? We have Miss Lauren Carter. Yes. So Lauren is a parent planner and a professional who was born and raised in the city of Mount Vernon, New York. She's passionate about moving Mount Vernon forward. It is her purpose to help improve quality of life for all, and definitely she has a plan to get it done. Hello, Miss Carter. Welcome back.
Good evening. Good morning, Marsha J and Jesse. How are you?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
Great.
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, definitely. And we look forward to keep having you as much as we can. So today, we want to speak with you about Lauren Carter, the right choice. The right choice. Again, we salute you for being a woman of color and doing the awesome things that you're doing. You're not just talking, but you're also putting your shoulder to the wheel. The last time we read an article about you, you compared raising your family or raising your twins with community development. I thought it was such an awesome piece. Guys, you need to go on our website, UMERADIO. Check article.
Okay.
Totally cool. It's a different side of Miss Carter that you want to check out. So let's come back to Lauren Carter, the right choice. In one of the articles that I read, you spoke about perhaps how the community of Mount Vernon was developed wasn't quite the way it should have, perhaps for a few reasons. And talk to us about some of the things that you noticed that could really use the right choice.
Well, in the last, with regard to development in the last few years, Mount Vernon has taken what some may call an unorganized approach, or even a willy-nilly approach to development, which is why we need our comprehensive plan. And the development that has taken place in Mount Vernon has basically been residential. But a comprehensive plan is drafted with input from the public, with the stakeholders of the city. The comprehensive plan will focus on housing. It will focus on economic development. It will focus on infrastructure, as I mentioned before. It will focus on recreation. So we have neglected the other areas. We've only focused on residential development. We have forgotten the economic development. We've forgotten about our infrastructure, our sewers, our schools, our roads, and we have neglected our recreation, open space, community gardens. And that's the approach that I would like to take as a member of the council, to advocate for the completion of the document. Now, the mayor runs the day operations of the city, so the employees report to their commissioners, and the commissioners report to the mayor. But I would be a strong advocate writing the administration, just staying on top of the administration to make sure that it's completed, and also offer my skills to help complete the document. So the comprehensive plan is very important to steer us in the direction that we need to take.
Awesome. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we talk about what's the right choice for Mount Vernon, right? So talk about you being the right choice for City Council and why.
Well, thank you for that great question, Marsha J. I think it's obvious. And when I say obvious, I don't mean it in an arrogant way, or to suggest that people should already know it. But when I say obvious, I mean once people get to know me, know my experience, my qualifications, my background, then they will see that I am the clear choice. I'm the obvious choice. I have close to 2 decades of working for the city. As I said in another interview, I started in the planning department, working for the executive branch. So working with different mayors, different commissioners, all of the land use boards. And then I transitioned to the city clerk's office to work for the legislative branch, where I was deputy city clerk. So in my work for the city, I always had to apply the laws of the city. So specifically in planning, I had to apply Chapter 267 of the code. It's just something that's in my head. That's the zoning code. And in my time as deputy clerk, I had to apply the charter specifically and the code. So I know the framework of the city, how it was organized to operate. I know the operations of the city. I know that when I want to propose legislation, or even certain legislation that others may want to propose, I know the process that we have to take in order to do it. Planner, I know how to set a framework for the city. And again, as working with the legislative branch. So I think that I really qualify for this position as council president. I don't think any other person that's running has the experience I have. Probably other than one other person who was a council person before and who was also an actor. Other than that, I think the choice, in addition to all of the experience, skills, qualifications I have, I'm doing this because I want to help this city improve. I'm not doing this because I want to try to get rich. I'm not doing it to try to be famous or even to try to even hurt people. These are unfortunately some things that other people, those are motivations that other people have when they ran. Certainly, it's not my motivation. I really just want to help the city.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So I have a twofold question for you. So, and this is more on the side of current affairs. How do you feel about the Floyd verdict, and how can that be used as you address public safety reform?
Well, certainly it was a stressful time in the country, and I'm sure in many parts of the world. I believe that justice has been served with the former police officer Chauvin being found guilty on all counts. And it's just one of a long list. This particular situation is one of a long list of unfortunate incidents of people dying at the hands of law enforcement. We've had a couple of instances in the United States in just the last couple of weeks. Even Monday or Tuesday. So I think that public safety is very important. Public safety reform. Our police officers need better training. They need to have better tools to de-escalate situations. There's a situation in the country, in the United States, where a 15-year-old girl was killed by an officer. It appears from based on early reports, that there were two ladies that came to her home to have an altercation with her, to fight her, and she grabbed a butter knife from her home to try to defend herself. When the police came, I don't know if they were aware that it was her home and she was defending herself. Nonetheless, she was shot multiple times. A 15-year-old girl. We need better training. Quite frankly, that was an opportunity for the police to de-escalate that situation. If the person had a weapon, what they believed to be a weapon, whether it's a knife or whatever it could have been, an opportunity should be given for the person to drop the weapon, to release it, and to move away from the weapon. There should be commands given to civilians. Drop your weapon, move away from it.
Yes.
Now, lift up your hands, and then the police can approach that person at that time. Let's de-escalate the situation first, rather than come in with the immediate
shoot first and ask questions later.
Immediate reaction of shooting.
Wow. Powerful sentiment. Yeah. I'm sorry, you're finished?
I was just going to add that again. That's my platform. Better training for officers. Just better training all around. Whether it's domestic violence, whether it's homelessness, whether it's mental illness, substance abuse. Better training. Just better training.
I have a question with that kind of. Do you think that we should have officers not only better trained, but officers that live within the community, if that makes any sense, so that the community knows that they're being taken care of?
Well, there are pros and cons to people who live in the community. Certainly, it is something that would be beneficial In certain instances, in the community I live in, there are several officers who also live in the community or who came from the community, even if they moved out after becoming a police officer.
Right.
However, we've heard the term familiarity breeds contempt. So there are instances, unfortunately, where people believe, okay, I know this officer, or the officer believes I know this person. And we have seen instances wherein certain crimes are not solved or arrests are not made because of relationships.
Right.
So it's it's a catch-22. I certainly believe that we do have to have people from the community police the community, that live in the community. But I think there should be a balance of the two. I think there should be a balance that we have people who live here and people who don't live here, that we have a mix of races and male and female officers. I think that, and also not just better training with regard to police tactics, but also better psychological evaluations, and perhaps continued psychological evaluation, because oftentimes in most police departments that I'm aware of, in addition to taking the written test and the physical fitness test, there's also the psychological test. Perhaps that's something that should be ongoing, as well as drug testing.
Okay. Do you foresee challenges when it comes on to you making your proposal of what is the right choice for Mount Vernon, sorry?
Well, unfortunately, but certainly there will always be challenges. But I believe that I have ideas that are reasonable, ideas that are sensible. I think that they should be embraced by all. I really don't see why people would really object to what I'm proposing. I have not called for, not in my community, certainly, I've not called for the defunding of our police officers, because we had seen an uptick in violence. I think that would be counterproductive. But certainly the officers do need better training, and they need to be able to interact with the community. Community policing is also an initiative that we need to restore in the city, where police officers really get to know the people in the community, and so that they feel safe, the people feel safe. So I think that everything that I've proposed, and certainly I'm sure that there are other great ideas as well, but I believe that the ideas I've proposed should be welcomed by all. I think they're sensible.
Okay, great. And we have some listener questions coming in. Jesse, could you pull those questions up, please? We have about 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Give me one moment. I think I'm coming up. Okay, so in regards to youth families development, what makes you the right choice? That's one question. And the other question is, what is the community residents saying about your plan?
Great. Thank you, listeners, for listening, and thank you for the questions. With regard to youth and family development, again, I can't stress enough the importance of the comprehensive plan, because it really provides the framework for a city, for the city's growth, for the city's sustainability. So the youth and family services would be a part of the comprehensive plan. And again, stakeholders of the city have input. So they would tell the elected officials and the appointed officials what they would want to see, whether it would be more after school programs, whether it would be better collaboration between the city and the school district to provide certain programs, whether it be more outdoor or cultural activities for residents here. That would all be identified in the comprehensive plan. So I underscore its importance, and that's what I would propose to offer programs and services for our youth and our families. Certainly it's needed. Our youth, they need recreation, outdoor recreation as well as indoor recreation. Our youth need to move. They need movement, so they need these activities. And the second question, if you can repeat that, please.
What is the community residents saying about the plan?
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking that. I was out today. I've been out the last, few months, but just about every day this week. And I was involved in a very engaging conversation with a proprietor and some of her customers at a nail salon. And they live here, they own property here, the proprietor and one of the customers. And really, quite frankly, people here in this city are just disillusioned. They're disenchanted, they're disappointed. They feel that the leadership that they have is not really producing results. They see a lot of infighting and personal attacks, egos. And for some officials, people had high hopes for them. So at this point, there are a lot of people who really don't even want to vote anymore. They don't want to be engaged. We've seen a lot of people moving out of the community, particularly people who had just moved here the last 5 years or less. Those are the people that are moving out faster than those who were probably born or raised here for a longer period of time. And some people don't want to be involved. So when I spoke with the ladies today, and we had a very, very productive conversation, they understood my plans. They understood what I believe that the city should do. And a lady who hasn't voted since Obama said that she would be voting for me. So I have to say that I am getting a great response from people, because as I say to people, and people can really tell who's genuine and who's not. They really can tell. And I even spoke with a lady before those ladies who owns a hair salon just a few blocks down. And she said to me, as we were talking, she said, "Oh, yes. Oh, you prayed about it. Or this is what, the Lord led you to do." I didn't even have to say that to her. But in our conversation, she knew, because I really want to do it because I want to help the city. I believe it's my purpose to be a servant, because that's what we are, public servants. And that's what they forget. We're not a celebrity. We're a public servants. We're to serve the people. I'm passionate about this city and seeing this city progress. And I have a plan. That's important. Write the vision and make it plain, that he that sees it may run with it. I have a plan. And certainly I'm not the mayor, but I can offer a plan to the mayor to execute. So that's why I'm running, and that's the response I'm getting from people, the feedback I'm getting from people. I believe that they see my motivation is pure.
Yes. In the same vein, for that question, would you tell us who some of your backings are? Who's backing you?
Thank you for asking. So I've been endorsed by the Mount Vernon Democrat City Committee. Those are the district leaders here in the city, the Democrat leaders, of which I am one. I've also been endorsed by the New York State Working Families Party. I've also been endorsed by a former council person, James Jubilee, who served the city in the 80s and 90s with distinction. He tackled graffiti to increase the quality of life. And I'm glad that I have his endorsement, because, as you know, quality of life is one of my platforms, and I want to tackle littering and unsanitary conditions, which we've spoken about before. So I'm glad to have their endorsements. I also have other council people who have not officially endorsed me yet, but they have said that they will be walking with me in the community, talking with voters.
Awesome. Maybe we should have one of them come on when you're back on. That would be great.
Yes, that
right
would be
there with you, saying that they
excellent.
definitely support you. Awesome. Awesome.
That's excellent. Thank you.
All right. So, Apostle Faith Walters, I know you know her, Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministry. They have a plan for a youth center. Are there strategic partnerships to materialize this plan? Do you know?
I I don't know of any partnerships that Apostle Faith may have, but certainly uh, that is something that, if elected to the council, I can look into, because there are organizations that will definitely want to partner with a not-for-profit or with a religious institution. And the
Yeah.
city can also partner with not-for-profits and religious institutions to provide certain programming in these locations. So certainly that is something that I would advocate for as a member of the council, to try to establish those relationships and collaborate.
Yes. So definitely just to state that, she didn't ask, but we both know her. So definitely I was wondering, because I would
Okay.
listen carefully to when others speak. All right, Lauren, thank you so much for being with us today. And really and truly, this was another inspiring interview, as you are on the road and we're on the road right there with you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
and we are looking forward to the journey. The journey continues. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever platform you are listening on, remember to check out her website, please. What's the website, Jesse? Tell us about the website.
It is www.laurenforcitycouncil.com, and you guys need to go over there. It has her mission, the issues that she's tackling, how you guys could get involved, and also, most importantly, to donate and volunteer. And if you're not following her on social media, what are you doing? There's Facebook,
Yes.
Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Everything is right there.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carter, for being with us today, and we look forward to having you again. Take care. God bless you.
God bless you all. Thank you.
All right. So that was Miss Lauren Carter, and she spoke with us today about some very strong points. Jesse, Lauren Carter, the right choice, definitely the right choice for this season, not just because she has the experience, not just because she has the education, but she also has a
Plan. Yeah.
does not get any better than that. And speaking of plan, we're almost out of time, but we do have some time for our DJ top 5. Our DJ top 5. Yes. So Jesse, go ahead and tell us what you have on your top 5 playlist for this week.
Okay, so mine's a remix of last week. So basically, guys, it's the same. Okay, it's the same because
Stop. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Because I felt like my list was so nice, I had to do it twice, girl.
Okay, so we both did it. We both did it. Okay, we both did it. Okay, so you guys got another chance to go through these awesome songs, play it through.
I didn't know you were going to do that. Just let's just put that out there. We didn't know that
This
we
was
were going
not
to do that.
planned. This was not planned, guys. Okay, so I'll run through my songs real quick one more time. It is
Yeah, and before that, tell them where to vote. Tell them about the whole DJ5 thing, where to vote, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so what you got to do is you got to go to UMERADIO.com. And once you're there, you scroll down and it would just pop up right there. So you got to go to UMERADIO.com/DJ top 5. And then all you got to do is there's a little area here where you have your 5 stars. You select which DJ you like, and simple, just click the big vote button. And as you scroll down, you have everyone's playlist, not just mine or Marsha's, but you also have Lady Misty. You also have DJ Kelly. You also have DJ KTE. But you know you're going to vote for DJ Jesse. So
Marsha J. Just saying.
Just saying, but it's right here, right? UMERadio.com/DJ top 5. Just like that. But yeah, guys. So we're gonna go through my list one more time if you guys missed it from last week. Number 2. So you have "You Are Worthy" by Tope Alabi. She is an awesome African artist, and it's a simple song. We've heard it many other renditions before, but I just love her version of it. Then we have "Hold Me Close" by Kalante Gavin. I'm pretty sure you guys know him by now. He's up and coming, like such a big gospel artist. I love him. Then we have "Do It Again" by Evie McKinney. If you guys don't know, she was found on The 4, I think back in 2018, I believe. And she's an amazing gospel artist. I love her sound. It's very rich and powerful, and it's a moving type of song. Kind of get like on your knees type of song. Then we have "Anyhow" by Ty Tribbett, and last but not least, "Yahweh" by Jokia.
Awesome list, Jesse. Not that I'm voting for your list, but I have to tell you, your list is awesome. But not awesome than my list. So on my list this week is an all-time favorite. We have Israel Houghton with the song "Winner," which was featuring the Jamaican artist Chevelle Franklin. She is a gospel reggae artist. And listen, if you are into the type of song that's going to get you up and moving and feeling like the islands, you definitely want to listen to this song. Second on my list this week is "I Will Run" by Tasha Cobbs. Such an inspiring song, an encouraging song. "I will run the race set before me." Ooh, I think this song, I want to dedicate this song to Miss Lauren Carter. "I will run the race set before me. I will seek your face as the prize of my life." Awesome song. And then third on my list, I have Todd Dulaney featuring Shayna Wilson, "King of Glory, fill this place. I just want to be with you." Awesome song. One of those songs, Jesse, that gets you on your knees and just makes you want to lift your hands and say, "Yes, God, come through. Come through, God. Come through." Right? And speaking of come through and surrendering, because that's what lifting your hands mean, we have Brian Courtney with "I'll Just Say Yes." And then William Murphy with "Settle Here." Ooh. Y'all need to go to the website. You can hear these songs played on our website, attached to our names, and just vote, guys. Vote. And guess what? If you love all the songs, then you just vote for all of us. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's a love healthy competition, right? Yeah, healthy competition.
Yes, healthy competition with Marsha coming out on top. Just saying.
Oh no. J comes before M in the alphabet, guys. Know your alphabet.
I love it, guys. So that's the DJ top 5 song for this week. I wonder how the other DJs are doing. DJ Kelly, I don't know if you're going to type in the comments. How do you think your top songs are doing? I don't know. But and DJ KTE and Lady Misty, we want to know. We need to come on here to kind of get the crowd voting for their favorite DJ. One of those weeks that we are on here. Wow. Definitely. Okay, so we want to look at the picture of the day. Can we look at the picture of the day? What is the picture of the day? So, picture of the day is where we select a picture that is, what should we say, Jesse?
I don't know,
it's
like different,
outstanding,
interesting,
has a story.
Yeah, story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, looking at this picture, guys, I'll let you handle this, Jesse. Go ahead.
Okay, so a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, texted me this photo. Looks like a normal pizza. Normal, I put under quotation marks.
What is normal?
And said
What is normal, Jesse? Before we even go there, what is normal?
That's a whole other show. I don't know what normal is.
Okay.
It's very relative, right? And this is in regards to food. Okay. So, slice of pizza. Everyone loves pizza. Have a person that hates pizza. This pizza has oxtail on it. Now, Marsha,
rewind.
Yes.
Rewind.
Oxtail,
What?
like oxtail. You know, with normally with rice. You know, like and peas. Yeah. No, on pizza.
Oxtail?
Yeah. on pizza, clearly no bone. So you're missing that whole no suction action with the bone, just the meat.
Mm,
And
okay.
what went through my head was one, this is a sin. I think it's a sin. I'm like, this can't be. This can't be. And then what went through my head was, why didn't we think of this before? And 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 then he said the price of one slice from this place. It's in Brooklyn, by the way. If you guys want to know, it's on Saratoga. But the slice of pizza, Marsha, was $10 a slice
For what?
for one slice of this oxtail pizza.
Let me just throw some paper in the air because that's my thing. $10? Really?
Text. He said they were charging $10 a slice of pizza for the oxtail and $60 a pie if you want a full pie of this oxtail pizza.
Whoa.
He said, according him and his dad, it's like the top 5 pizza that they've had in their entire life. And
That's the rating, top 5.
Top 5. He's like,
Well, let me
I
see.
can't get over $60 for a whole pie. But he's
I
like,
know.
I could do $10 a slice. I'm like, what is this pizza paying rent? This pizza paying mortgage? This pizza been paying a whole bunch of stuff for me to pay $10
know.
a slice. I can't.
Well, I'll say this though. Oxtail in Jamaica, and this is something for meat lovers because side note, right? I got a voice note on my phone about last month. I'm not sure if it was a prank or it was for real. There was a lady that came to Jamaica and she was quarreling with a restaurant manager about curry goat, right? Because in Jamaica we eat curry goat.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she didn't know it was meat.
What she made of? What the goat made of? What is the goat made of? Marsha, I love curry goat. What do you mean that he doesn't know it was meat? What do you think, it's tofu? It's fake?
Listen, when I heard the voice note, she said, so the lady said, the customer agent said, what were you told the name of the meal was? She said curry goat. And she was like, ma'am, but it has the word goat in it. She says, she doesn't know, she didn't know if it was like a real goat or like vegetarian.
I can't. I know you can make like tofu taste like chicken.
Woman was livid.
What?
Listen.
And of all places, I'm sorry, if you go to any Caribbean country, guys, coming from first generation, like you fake goat. What? Vegetarian
for me,
goat?
it was bite of the week. That clip was bite of the week. But I'm not surprised though if first. And you know the weirdest thing about it, she sounded Caribbean. But let's get back to this pizza, right? $10 a slice. I know that oxtail is extremely expensive.
I know it's expensive.
But whoa. And the truth is, guys, for those who have never had oxtail, let's try to describe the flavor, right?
Okay.
So, what would I say?
Cheese.
If you've ever had, well, I can't even compare it
I don't
want
to put, right, you can't put it to beef. It's not chicken. It's like the texture of
if it's seasoned right and it's cooked properly, it's very tender and very flavorful, very juicy.
Like a stewed chicken almost kind of thing, but not.
Or let me tell you how tender it can become. And I'll use chicken as an example. So if I'm cooking chicken and I want the chicken to be tender as opposed to dry, what I do is that I put it in the oven and I cover it with foil paper.
Yep.
And somehow it doesn't come out what we call trashy as opposed to juicy and just tender.
Yep.
Especially thigh is like what, white meat? Let me see. In Jamaica we don't say that, but I think thigh is like white meat. So if you cover it and in 45 minutes or so, and you uncover it, then it may not have that brown color, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
juicy, very tender. So the same thing with oxtail, really nice. But for me, oxtail on pizza is like saying oxtail like in a bread sandwich sort of thing with
That's what I'm
cheese.
thinking. Like
Yeah,
if you imagine it, it makes it's. I can't. Excuse me, sorry guys. I just can't get over $10 a slice, and then to add cheese on it. Like I could get bread, but like the
mm,
amount of cheese to meat ratio on this,
I know. It looks loaded though. It looks
it
loaded.
does. It
It looks
does.
loaded. And if your
Mhm.
friend and his father or her father says it's top five,
It's top
then okay,
five. It must
I believe
be. Next time I go down to Brooklyn, I may have to shut out $10 for a slice of pizza.
just for the love of it,
Try
just for
it.
the love of
Just
it.
try
And I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
The one thing I can appreciate though is the creativity. Definitely it's a person of color that came up with this. Have to
Oh
be.
yes. At first I asked him, I'm like, is this a person from the Caucasus Mountains to make some type of, you know? And he's like, no, there's a whole bunch of black people there and like one Asian person. I'm like, okay, so it had to be one of us.
Mm, for sure. Listen, and that's how we're going to end this program today, guys. We hope you had
Yeah.
absolutely a ball. Oh, Jesus
Oh,
teaches us how to pray.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh,
Hmm. Okay.
1 minute
So
maze.
it's a maze. Zing. It's amazing maze. In 1 minute, who's going to keep the time? Who is going to keep the
Time,
time?
time.
DJ Kelly, will you keep the time for us? I think that's a yes. Oh, she says yes. Awesome.
This is yes. Okay.
So tell us when to start, and then we will start. Now that my eyes aren't looking already for the solution. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
After three, I think. One, uno, dos,
Dos, tres.
tres. Go. And listen, type in the comments if you find it before us, if you find the path to Jesus. Oh, follow the path to Jesus. Right. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You're
All
gonna hate
right.
me, Marsha.
You know what? I'm gonna just turn off my screen right now because it seems as if you found the solution. And every week you do this, Jesse. I can't
Can
handle
I
this.
tell you my trick? Can I tell you my trick though? However, I would do these.
Should you tell me your trick? Should you?
It's only this. We've never done a maze before.
I know. Coach says begin. DJ Kelly says begin. All right. So it seems as if you found the answer, but I am still looking, and I am looking for a
Okay.
path that has never been taken, a path that has never been trodden on, and I'm looking and looking. How much we have? 1 minute?
1 minute. Yep.
Just to be fair enough, because even though you might have found it already, I want to try too. Okay,
Yeah. You got this.
people with two eyes want to win something. We want to try too. So I'm looking.
Not my eyes, man.
Right. So good. Can I tell that I
You
found
got
two
it.
paths? Yes, I found two paths. So I'm gonna let
She
you go
got it.
first with your path. Then whatever path you choose, I choose the second path. So we
Oh,
just
there is a
need
short one. Yeah.
yes.
There is a
So
short one. I see that short one. Okay, I'll do the long. I'll do the long one.
to those who are watching, have you found the path? Have you
Yep.
found the path? All right, time is up.
Okay.
So let's go. So I'm gonna let you start first. We're gonna
Okay.
turn on
So
the laser pointer, and you're gonna
I will.
direct the laser point.
I'll do the long one. Okay. So you're gonna do start from start. You're gonna go down. Then you're gonna do a quick left. Then you're gonna go down, and then a quick up, up,
Up.
and then a left, and then go straight down, and then go into that little corner there. The little no, not that one, not that one. The left.
One above.
Yep, above, and then you're gonna go up, and you're gonna go left, then down, and then back up,
Across and up.
And
Okay.
then down. Down. Okay, and now you're gonna go like follow that little go with that ride. You're gonna go for that ride. Keep going for that ride. And you're gonna go up. You're gonna go to come down. And you're gonna go zigzag. And you're gonna hit Jesus.
And she's home, people. Woo! The crowd goes wild. All right.
That's a long way.
That's the long way. There's another way, so I'm going to show you guys the short way home. Anybody like shortcuts? I like shortcuts. All right, so we're going back to the starting line. Then we are going to go down and left, and then down and right. And hold on, I went wrong. I'm sorry. We're going to go in reverse. reverse. All right, so let's go again. Down and then go up. Yes, and then go down. And then go left. And then go down. And down. But Jesse, I was wrong.
Oh, that's a trick one. Because I hit the border.
Bible is right. There's only one way.
There's only one way. Listen, only one way.
I thought that was a plan. Guys, this is how we're going to wrap up this week. I lost again. Listen, I just can't wait. Anything I do, I can't wait. I thought this was a short way.
Did you want my shortcut of how I found that one so fast?
Yes.
I disobey the rules, guys. You don't start from start. You start from Jesus. He is the source.
He's the way. All right, I got you.
Back.
Oh, that's the trick. Thank you. Now
Welcome.
I know. Now I know. I thought there was a shortcut, but there ain't no shortcut to Jesus. That's right. You're awesome, Jesse. Got to give it to you. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you, everyone, so much for being with us this week, joining us today. We trust that you were definitely inspired, motivated, educated. To all our guests, to our support team, thank you so much for making today's show what it is. Join us each week right here on this podcast, Weekends with Marsha J.
and Jesse.
See you next week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Are you ready for the weekend? Oh, yes, girl. Get your cup of tea and mic check, 1, 2. I am so ready
to inspire, motivate, and educate. Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up, and so are we.
News, interviews, hot topics. Connect with us. Let us know what's on your mind. Follow, comment, subscribe.
We're everywhere. UME Radio app, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and all other digital platforms. Email us info@umeradio.com. On WhatsApp, 201-503-6731. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio. Follow me, Jesse, on Instagram at ink.jess. That's ink.jess. And on Facebook at Jesselyne Abel. That's JESSELYNE Abel, ABEL.
And follow me, Marsha J, on all social media platforms at official Marsha J. Or you can just check out marshajnow.com.
Weekends on UME Radio with Marsha J and Jesse.
Amplifying the voice of positive influencers.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.